hey, because he's productive right now, that probably isn't the best way to handle him because
Yeah, right.
he's an older player
Hmm.
Yep.
and the rest benefits him. The rest is probably in part why he's doing so well right now. It's not just that, it's a bunch of other things.
Oh,
Maybe
sure.
it's comfort, maybe it's
It's
like
being relaxed and
it's being
having
really
fun.
I said it last week, he's playing with house money. He
Mhm.
doesn't
Yeah.
he doesn't have to perform, and he knows that he doesn't have to perform, and he's just enjoying himself this season, which is helping lead to what he's been doing.
Anybody who's played sports, I know it's silly to make this amateur analogy to a player as great as Albert Pujols, but when you are in practice, whether it's hockey or tennis or whatever it may be, that's when you make the trick shots, right? That's when you have fun and you kind of perform your best because you are relaxed. It doesn't matter. There would always be those moments in practice like, oh, why can't I do this in the game? That's almost what he looks like he is doing. He's in that moment where he's just goofing around and performing because there's no pressure.
You know what's funny?
It
He
might
got
be the first time in his career. Well, actually, last year, right? The end of the year with the Dodgers, and then this year, might be
yeah,
the first times in his career he didn't have
great
pressure.
point. Yeah, Dodgers like you go to that lineup, you don't really have to do
Right.
anything, you know?
Right.
I mean, you do, but
But
it's
you're going to play part time, and
right.
you don't have to be you're not under that big contract anymore, which I know adds pressure too.
What's funny is yesterday he gets the pinch hit and he gets a hit, he gets a single, and I'm like, oh dang, it's only a single. Because I'm now conditioned because of the way he's been producing that, oh, he should be hitting a home run now. He's coming off the bench to hit a home run.
And you know, we always say like offense is sexy. It's easy to have the big highlights with offense. And again, not putting away or trivializing the home runs because home runs are not easy, but those are always the go-to highlights. You have to be extraordinary to make the highlight reel in with a defensive play. And how good was Arenado's barehanded catch to Goldie at first base for the out? Scale of 1 to 10, how hard is that in major
70.
league terms?
That's hard. It's very hard
It
on
looked
both ends,
impossible.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
scoop
those
was
two are
not easy.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
man. And the crazy thing with Arenado is it's every day. Like, he makes some play almost every game. You're like, even big leaguers don't make that play.
Yeah.
Other than guys like him. So yeah, I don't know. On a scale of 1 to 10, I joke 70, probably a 12.
Yeah.
Everything is going so well right now.
It's kinda scary, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I just wish there weren't still like 5 weeks to go. I wish
Right.
I wish
Yeah,
it
I know,
was
you're, like, peaking
September
right now.
22nd, not August 22nd. It would make me feel so much better. But there are so many remarkable things about what's going on. But the Cardinals on July 30th were 4 games out of first,
Yep.
and they are 5 games up now.
Wow.
That's insanity.
Now-
That is absolute insanity. And part of it is Milwaukee has just fallen apart.
Yep.
Which, after the deadline, I think they were
Yeah.
kind of demoralized. But
Yep.
it may end up that they were right on Hader, that maybe they were identifying something in him that was like, he may not be long for this baseball world, or at least as being as good as he was. Maybe they saw something ahead of time, but I think it demoralized the clubhouse. At any rate, they've fallen apart. The Cardinals have taken advantage of every opportunity they've
Yeah.
been given. And to
18
build a
4 in their
5-game
last
lead,
22.
it's just, that's not real. Like, it's just,
I mean, it's a little more real than the 17-game winning streak
yeah,
last year.
it is. It is. But in 3 weeks, to make up 9 games, which is what they have gone 9 games past where they were. That's a huge amount of ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
it's not impossible for a hot streak to be long lasting. You know, we oh man, I hope this doesn't fizzle out or burn up by the time the playoffs roll around. But we've seen it before where teams get hot in the second half of the season, then it carries over. This is a different sport, but we saw it with the 2019 Blues. We saw it with the 2012 Kings. It can happen. I'm sure you guys have baseball teams where you've seen the second half pick up, but it doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily.
the Braves last year did it.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's going to fizzle out before the playoffs.
No. I know what's crazy, you guys, is all of this, the winning, Albert hitting home runs number 691, 692, all of this has completely pushed Yadier Molina off the headline. Because Yadier just went home to watch his basketball team play for 2 days instead of playing for the Cardinals. And that is, if they had gone and lost those games, I think it's a different feel today. I think because there's this question, right? We're getting a lot of questions about how this compares to Goldie and Arenado missing Toronto because they're not vaccinated. I don't think they're exactly the same thing, but you did have players making individual choices that were for them that did not help the team. And the team has done everything they're supposed to make up for those guys being absent in each of those cases. But I got to say that, the results this weekend and Albert's performance certainly take a lot of the heat that Yachty might have been facing had things not gone well.
I do have quite a bit of thoughts on that particular topic, which we'll get into later in the show. But if this were, and one of them is this, if it were September 22nd and the Cardinals were a game out of first, we might be feeling a little bit different than we feel right now. But they've built the lead. They've continued to play well. They were playing against a team that's not very good. Texters to 314-436-7900. Enough with the sports. The Pujols story has been beaten to death. I'm so sorry that we're talking about maybe the most important player, one of the most important players in the history of this city. We're so sorry that we are bothering you this morning.
Hey, let's do a little math to close this segment
Stop talking about one of the greatest players in the history of the game on my city's team.
Listen, we're gonna do 16 segments today.
Yeah.
And maybe 3 of them are going to involve the Cardinals.
And we welcome much better text messages than that one.
Maybe that was reminiscent of the Fun Police. Maybe you can only have so much fun.
My God, this person is the commander of the Fun Police. He's about to get suspended without pay because he sucks at his job.
Well, we will have more baseball coming up later. That's going to happen. We've got the Redbird Report at 12:30, and we'll probably have a couple of other hits here and there because there's been news, guys. In case you didn't know it, Cardinals are pretty popular in St. Louis. We are the flagship of the team.
I know this guy doesn't think so, Kevin.
We're the
we'll hit him a little bit
on.
later on. But Amy's got a story from the weekend that we're going to hit next here on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com or call 314-328-8000.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Bertie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hey, KMOX listeners, Roger Wigginton here at Don Rogers Limited, 6727 West Main in Belleville, where our 46th anniversary sale continues through the month of August. All seasonal apparel, men's and women's, that's summer merchandise, is 46% off the regular price. But to spice up the sale, we're going to take 20% off of everything else in the store. So now it becomes a store-wide anniversary sale. So when you come in, you're either going to get 20% off the regular price or you're going to get 46% off. We have a great selection of merchandise. Our men's and and women's really look good. We've had a lot of hot, humid weather. So now's the time to add your wardrobe, pick up a few pieces. Don't forget, as always, we're open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 4. You park at the door, you walk in, you get waited on, you get great service, great selection. The store looks wonderful. So we'd love to see you. And as always, thank you for listening to the commercial. Stop by when you have a chance.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
The biannual blowout is just a week away, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Keenan's Rug Emporium is rolling out a Labor Day bonanza.
We have that flat weave shipment coming in.
He needs 10 new sales associates as the crowds loom large.
Someone run a stock check on all the Moroccan 8x10s?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been when it's right, it's right.
All right, you're back in on the show. Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here on a Monday. You can hit us up on the text line, 436-7900. And I don't know. Are we doing an Anchorman segment here?
Amy's never seen Anchorman, so she has no idea.
No,
she has no
I
idea.
haven't seen enough of Anchorman to know, but
Did you see that scene?
Unfortunately.
Oh,
yes or no? Unfortunately, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But
unfortunately, it was brilliant.
The Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, I went to the W Karaoke Bar on Del Mar. So we had a wedding shower, bridal shower for a friend, and we decided it would be way more fun instead of just, all the girls sitting around playing toilet paper games, making, wedding dresses out of toilet paper. It's a thing
What?
to do. Yeah, it's awful.
Holy.
It's a special kind of hell, or bridal showers. So it was a co-ed bridal shower. We rented a room at the W Karaoke Lounge on Del Mar. I didn't know what to expect. I think I was expecting like Double D's, the one that closed down in Brentwood.
Oh, yeah, on Brentwood.
Like a dive bar. Yeah, and you stand
Across
up in front
from
of
the Whole
everyone.
Foods.
That's exactly right. This is, you walk in and they ask you what party you're with, and then they say, okay, you are in room 202 or 201. And the hallway, the whole place is decorated Art Deco. So lots of mirrors and cut glass and lights. And you hear this as you're walking down the hallway. And you're like, what is that noise?
What, somebody's getting mugged?
Kind of sounds like almost like a subwoofer.
It's bass.
But you can hear people
You hear
yelling.
bass. You hear mumbling.
It's something low on the spectrum.
It's like it's bass, but then it's also people going.
Okay.
You can't, and it goes from that to.
Sounds like Kenny from South Park.
And then you open the door and you hear, I want it that way. And everyone's karaokeing in that room. So there's all these various rooms. So there are like 10 karaoke parties going on at once.
Oh.
And the room is mirrors and lights, and it's got television screens with the lyrics to the song.
You know what? In this episode of the show, Amy discovers bars.
No, it's like a really elaborate karaoke lounge. Shut up.
It's like, wow, what is this place? I don't know. They've got them everywhere.
You've seen a karaoke place like this?
They've been around for hundreds of years. Well, yeah.
I've never gone to a karaoke place like this.
Like where they're just separate rooms for people.
And
and they have their own little individual
and then
private party.
You press a button and all the drinks come in. I've never done a karaoke. Have you gone to a karaoke party like this?
No, I can't imagine a worse time.
It was so fun. And not only was it so fun, and I was completely sober the whole time because I'm just, I don't get drunk, and also I was not drinking at all. And so it was this group of us old people. I think we were the oldest people there. Except for
like 38 and stuff.
Yeah, we're 38 to 48. The girl was getting married is 29, so she was the youngest. And it was so funny because not only, like, as we picked the songs, did we definitely pick Gen X or Boomer songs, but they can't play the real music videos underneath the lyrics, but they do feel this need to play videos.
Yeah.
And the Afternoon Delight video, I don't know I don't know when they made these. It looks like they were made in the 80s and that they were pulled from VHS tapes, but it was like cello porn is the best way I could describe. So I know there was this guy walking through the park with a cello in a case, and then he sees this beautiful woman. This is the music video underneath the lyrics of Afternoon Delight.
Oh.
And then they show a close up and they look like they're going to kiss. Then he takes the cello. The next scene is him taking the cello out of the case. And then
I thought you said Jello at first. I'm not going to lie.
No, the cello, the instrument. So
Jello wrestling. That's fun.
So then he's playing the cello, and then they zoom in, and he's got a rose and this very seductive look. And then he zooms out, and then she's playing the cello. And then they zoom back in.
Is that a euphemism?
I know. Then they zoom out, and there's flowers, and they zoom back in, and they're both playing the cello together.
Yeah, of course they are. In the afternoon.
It was.
And it was delightful.
It was delightful. It was the weirdest video. And then Don't Stop Believing, the music video they played, it looked like leftover vacation footage from a Carnival cruise. It was people jet skiing, and then they were on the Amalfi Coast, and then they were in Greece, and it was random groups of people. So she's just a small town girl, and then it's 3 kids on a raft behind a speedboat.
Did you think this was fun?
It was so much fun.
Okay.
I lost my voice.
Oh, can only hope.
I can do a mean
It
rendition.
seems to have returned.
I can do a mean rendition of Teenage Dirtbag.
You don't have to.
That, but I did.
You don't have to.
Actually, you might need to hear that during trending coming up in a little bit.
You don't have to. It's okay.
Debbie Monterey is going to join us next on the show.
We're good, thanks.
Doing a radio show is a weird thing because you're really putting yourself out there.
Weekdays at 2, it's the DGS.
I hope you guys get this about me. I have opinions. We all have opinions.
Just another opinion.
One of the differences you'll find with me, although I can be quite defensive, is that I'm always willing to change my opinion. I'm always willing to take in new information and go, I was wrong about that.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays beginning at 2.
Just another opinion.
On KMOX.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Shopping around for new HVAC systems is something nobody ever wants on their to-do list. So let's help make things easier with free estimates on new equipment, up to $2,150 on Carrier Cool Cash rebates, and 0% financing for up to 72 months. With over 50 years of award-winning service, you can trust Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling with your new system install. For details and to get in your comfort zone, contact Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies and 77 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. This just in, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert who became a household name and the subject of partisan attacks during the COVID-19 pandemic, announcing he will depart the federal government in December after more than 5 decades of service. New York State Health Commissioner Dr. Mary Bassett at a news conference today with New York's governor said close watch is being kept on wastewater samples after a case of polio was identified in Rockland County.
These data suggest that we have a community circulating poliovirus that can cause paralysis, and this is a source of great concern, particularly for people who are unvaccinated or undervaccinated.
She is urging residents of those counties to get the polio vaccine now. A Missouri state senator wants the St. Louis Police Department back under state control. Nick Shore of St. Charles County will introduce a bill to strip St. Louis of local control of its police department. He says rampant crime makes the move necessary. Back to school today for thousands of kids in the region. Among those districts starting the school year, Rockwood, Parkway, Cahokia, and St. Louis Public Schools. 8 schools will start the year with no bus service. Officials say they have enough drivers, but they're still waiting to take state tests. And more details starting to emerge about last Friday's early morning double shooting on Tuxford Drive in Creve Coeur. St. Louis County police say today 29-year-old Latanya Price of Warrenton died from the injuries. The second man is expected to survive. And taking a look at
These data suggest that
taking a look at your commute this hour, MoDOT refreshing the MoDOT feed here. Emergency vehicles 55 southbound at Germania Avenue. The right lane is closed. There's a crash 170 southbound at 70. That is on the right shoulder. The KMOX forecast sponsored by Midwest Money. Look for sunny, warm conditions this afternoon, moderately humid, the high 85. Right now it's sunny and 77 degrees downtown at the Arch. Clean out your cabinets and stop by Midwest Money, where you'll receive top dollar for your coins, currency, jewelry, and antiques. Because isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? Call 481-0770 or go to MidwestMoneyCo.com. I'm Carol Daniel. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I'm Listening reminds you that you are not alone and that talk saves lives. There's a new national hotline for mental health-related distress. 988. When you call or text 988 from any phone, you will be connected directly with trained counselors in over 200 crisis centers nationwide. They can get you the help you need anytime, anywhere. 988, the new National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Talk saves lives. And with 988, talking is only 3 digits away. Find out more at imlistening.org.
KMOX News Time is 10:33.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Summer items like garden hoses, pool toys, and lawn chairs are not recyclable and best donated to charity. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Is your bank, brokerage, or your insurance company telling you to buy an annuity? They may have limited access to the best rates available. You need solutions, not someone pitching you a specific product. Call for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233. And also join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio.
I remember being a little kid growing up on a farm. We did not have air conditioning, but what we would do for cooling is we would open our windows if we were in the house, but mostly we tried to stay outside of the house and just play around after we got done farming, just run around. And the best thing that ever happened to us was water sprinklers. So we'd run through water sprinklers for, I would say, not to exaggerate, 15 hours a day when it was this hot. Or what we would do when a storm would come, when it would rain, and we lived on a really big hill, and we would just slide down this hill for hours. But if you're like me now, and you say that crap won't work, and your air conditioner is broke, call me. I understand. It's Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or Bart Inman, that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX.
It's Monday on the show here on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. And obviously a whole lot more coming your way as we go through the day. But a lot of back-to-school stuff from KMOX the last couple of weeks. And certainly I'm past that age where I'm worried about any back-to-school stuff. But doesn't mean everybody is.
Yeah, we got a lot of people going back to school. I know that was the talk for all of my friends this weekend. Their kids went back, started sprinkling back last week into this week. And joining us now in studio is Debbie Monterey. She's been part of the newsroom's series of Back to School. Hey, Debbie.
Hi, thanks for having me in.
So you did a story recently on kids from Ukraine and Afghanistan making their way to St. Louis and their first days back.
Right, because we think about our own kids heading back. Imagine how you would feel if you were coming here from another country, maybe or maybe not speaking the language, the culture shock, all of that. And here you have to head into a classroom. So I imagine that would be very nerve-wracking. So I was talking to Arayo Benson at the International Institute, and so far, St. Louis has taken in 724 Afghans. So that's about 215 kids. There's 26 families from Ukraine that are here, and I'm not sure exactly how many kids from Ukraine. But also he told me they've had 37 cases come from the Democratic Republic of Congo just in July alone. So they haven't had a lot of time to assess those kids and their readiness for school. But what the International Institute does is assess each kid, tries to figure out how ready they are, what grade they would be in, because sometimes in the cases of Afghanis or Ukrainians, they don't have their school papers, they don't have a lot of the paperwork, so they have to figure out what grade should they start in and where can they go.
So how long does that process take? I'm assuming it's different for every student, but generally speaking, do we know?
Well, one thing that Array told me is one of the changes that they're seeing over the years is that a lot of times when the kids who are coming here do speak some English. Thanks to technology, everyone has a phone, even in a refugee camp, so they can watch YouTube, they can watch American shows, they can kind of start to learn English. And so it's not like it was maybe 20 years ago where you came here and nobody spoke the language. So a lot of the young people speak at least a little bit or sometimes a lot of English. So that's really kind of the determining factor for where they can be placed. And he said that the kids tend to really pick up English very easily as opposed to their parents. Because can you imagine if one of us had to learn Mandarin or something?
Yeah,
I'd be like, no, I'm never going to learn that. Thank you. But there is a school, and I'm not sure if you have heard of this or are familiar with the Naheed Chapman New American Academy. It is a school in the St. Louis public school system. It used to be on Grand, and now it's moved to the former Collegiate High School building because Collegiate moved last year. And it specializes in refugee and immigrant children who come here. So it's sort of like the starting point to get kids acclimated, to show them what American school is like, to work on their English before they can move to another school. And for quite a few years, because during the Trump administration, the number of refugees allowed here had trickled to almost nothing. And then when COVID hit, nobody was allowed to come here, even people who were immigrating. So I was worried that school would close, but now it's bustling again, and a lot of the kids are going to go there to the Naheed Chapman School and then eventually go to other schools.
Does that school also accept volunteer readers and volunteers who can help students with the English language? I think this is the school I'm thinking of. I'm not sure.
Probably.
Okay.
I would think so, yes. There was an excellent documentary that came out a couple of years ago about this school called One Day. And if you haven't seen it, it is just, I mean, I cried through it. It was such a beautiful documentary about all of these kids from all over the world who come to this one school in St. Louis City and learn English. And the teachers are, I mean, you have to imagine how amazing and dedicated a teacher is, because these kids are having needs above and beyond what most students might have.
Debbie, you just addressed the academic and the language barriers that we kind of have to figure out. Did you get a sense of the other issues that you might? I mean, there have to be some mental health issues, for example, that they want to be paying attention to with kids that have had their entire lives of what they've known before changed.
Right. Some of these kids have been living in refugee camps. Some of them have seen horrible things, their families as well. I would say, and this is just my personal feeling, I feel like a lot of these folks are way more resilient than we are. You know what I mean? Like something bad happens to us and our day just crumbles if, Starbucks gets our order wrong.
Because it's an inconvenience.
Right.
We think it's a hardship, but it's an inconvenience.
Right.
Yeah.
But these folks
people don't like to be inconvenienced.
No, we don't. So the International Institute really is kind of the starting point where they assess, not just what the children need, but what the whole family needs and get them the services that they need. But it really is amazing how quickly some of these families, especially the kids, can adapt to our way of life.
Well, and you talk about resilience, what they have been through in their own lives, in their own countries. It could have been violent. They could have faced extreme hardship or poverty. We have spoken to Afghan refugees who came here with nothing but the clothes on their back because they were escaping Kabul. When the planes were taking off, when they got on the plane, they didn't know where that plane would land. And it often took a week to get to the United States. The kids are here on top of going back to school, not being familiar with the culture or the language. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of times the kids are the link between their new country and their parents who don't adapt as easily to the new culture, who don't speak English. And so there are a lot of adult responsibilities placed on these kids.
Absolutely, because the kids understand more about the way things work than their parents. So they're having to do their own schooling. They're having to go home and translate it to their parents and get them connected to the right services. So just a personal story. I went to a wedding about a month ago in Chicago, and I stayed with a friend of mine who used to live here but lives in Chicago now. And she has like a big, I guess it would be a 2-flat, but she owns the whole thing. And she said, "Oh yeah, I took in some Ukrainians," just like as you do. And so she had a mom and her 2 daughters stay with her for a couple of months until they could get an apartment of their own in the Ukrainian Village, which is actually a neighborhood in Chicago.
That's a thing.
Oddly enough. And the daughters both spoke English. But if you can imagine how hard it is for any of us who have kids to get our children to get up, just to go to school in the morning. And these girls both came to the United States and they were getting up at 2:00 in the morning to go to school virtually on Zoom in the Ukraine. So they were getting up at 2 a.m. doing their whole school day online until they could, transfer all of their credits or whatever, until they figured it out how they could go to school here. I thought, and more power to them. But I wonder how some of our kids would react if we said, "No, you're getting up at 2 in the morning and you're going to go do school until 8 a.m."
Well, if everything's comfortable all the time, then they're probably not going to react well.
No, and I'll just add this too. Again, we had some of the 3 women who were rescued by a U.S. Marine, rescued from Afghanistan. They came to St. Louis, and one of the girls, Zara, was on the Taliban kill list because she ran a business in Afghanistan. She started that when she was 17 years old. So the Taliban was trying to kill her at 17, 18 years old. And her sister, Fatma, was the Afghan ski champion, national ski champion. So it's like women's sports. So she was on the Taliban kill list. And they made it to St. Louis safely and immediately started learning the language and making sure that they had all of their education credits and they were able to finish up any educational credits that they needed. And they were getting jobs. And I'm thinking, wow, St. Louis is such a better city for having them here.
Right.
I mean, this is incredible. Bring them all here.
One other thing about Afghans is there's about 300 of them in Albania right now who are hopefully coming here. They're just kind of waiting. Sometimes these things take a while. So that would be, over 1,000 Afghans who have come to St. Louis in the past year or so.
And one more thing, Debbie, before we let you get back to work, the Festival of Nations is returning this weekend.
Oh my gosh. It is my favorite festival of the entire year. Why are you laughing?
No, I'm not. Just how excited you are. I'm happy for you.
No, I get giddy. And I actually saw a video. You know how Facebook reminds you of things that you posted. And so it was 3 years ago, I posted a video of Festival of Nations.
Is that how long it's been?
It's been in hiatus for 2 years thanks to COVID, but it's back in Tower Grove Park. And I watched the video and I started getting all teary because it is just such a celebration of the diversity of people and culture and food. And 125,000 plus people will all go to eat. I try to eat in at least 4 to 5 countries every time I go and eat something different.
So filling.
Yes. Oh, and the keynote speaker is going to be this guy named Emmanuel Jal, who was a child soldier in Sudan. His father sent him out of Sudan during the Civil War to a refugee camp in Ethiopia, where he was conscripted by the Sudanese, I can't remember which group, but they were a Christian group, and he was armed with an AK-47 and charged with killing Muslims and Arabs. He escaped, and now he lives in Toronto and has put out 4 rap albums.
Wow.
So anyway,
I
he's
hope
going
we
to
get
speak.
to talk to him.
Oh,
I do too.
That would be
We're working
incredible.
on the time and exactly when he's coming to St. Louis, but I mean,
Wow.
his story is going to be amazing.
Ooh.
And where can we get info on that, Deb?
Festival of Nations,
STL.org. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just Google Festival of Nations Tower Grove Park. It's the biggest festival of the year in Tower Grove Park. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome.
Deb, thanks so much. Always
Thank
great
you.
to have you in.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'm out.
If anybody can't
You can
tell.
stay.
Yeah, you could join us
You
the
can
rest of the way if
always,
you like.
if anytime you want, just stay, pop in, sit down. Especially now that you've got the big show.
I know, I took
Yeah.
Wheeler's microphone.
Well, he's remote because his basketball team has a chance to win the championship.
Oh.
And
wow.
we won. We won. It was amazing.
Way to go, Kevin.
We'll tell you what's trending coming up next.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. That's chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com or call 314-328-8000.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
Maybe you've been to enough barbecues and outdoor parties to know that your outdoor space needs a little work. That is fine. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is waiting for your call because Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. For more than 54 years, they have been doing quality work with quality craftsmanship, building people beautiful decks, sunrooms, screen rooms, patios, pergolas, retaining walls, and oh yes, fences of all kinds. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, a third-generation family-owned company. Tom and Sherry Thiel take pride in every project they do. They stand behind every project, so you know that this is going to be something that lasts for years to come. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing. They do free in-home estimates at no obligation, free project design. Visit them in the Chesterfield Valley if you'd like to see it in person, or they'll come to you. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com.
Donate your car to Goodwill and get 4 free tickets to Six Flags. Ride the greats like the Screaming Eagle or hang out at Hurricane Harbor. Donating a car to Goodwill is easy. Towing is free, and you'll get a tax receipt. For more information or to donate online, visit mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Six Flags. Hurry while supplies last. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Roger, tell us about your experience working with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We just had a very fine experience with the work that the 3-Day Kitchen and Bath had done on our home. They had taken out walls and put in a new kitchen and a new bath, and did it in an extremely timely manner with some of the finest workers that we've been associated with. Easy to work with. They did what we asked them to do. And each of the subs that they had, whether it was putting in the bath, there's shower stalls, and they came in a timely manner. The plumber was here on time. The electricians were here when they said they would be here, and things just worked out really well for us. And I've done it myself, and it'll probably take me 2 years.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Mission St. Louis, empowering entire families to break the cycle of poverty. You can help keep St. Louis strong. Learn more at missionstl.org/KMOX.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
Nature Valley is giving away back-to-school gear for free at the Retalk Shop. On TikTok, show how you reduce, reuse, or recycle with hashtag #RetalkForNature. And you could be served a code, unlocking one free item. While supplies last, terms and conditions apply.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Dude, I'm here for the show. What show?
St. Louis, this is your show.
The show.
The show on KMOX.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
Hi, Trending is sponsored by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Connellville. Chris Franchi, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here on the show. And, of course, at the show KMOX on Twitter, which is where we head to get into some trending. I'll just throw the first one out there because I don't know about you, Ranj, but I was pretty happy with our television show last night, The House of the Dragon. HOTD is trending all over the globe.
Yep.
And I think pretty good reviews. Not going to get into any spoilers or anything, but I thought it was excellent.
I liked it. And so Game of Thrones, this is a Game of Thrones spinoff for anybody who's not quite familiar. It did start last night, and it took me a couple of Game of Thrones episodes before I was bought in. I feel ahead of that now with this show. So I guess we'll see what happens in a few weeks, but I really liked the beginning of it.
Yeah, it was good. I think, again, what I was hoping that they could do is continue the bigness of everything, right? That was one of the things about Game of Thrones is that it was visual and there was a lot of characters, and it took a while for people to kind of get, all right, who's who and where do they fit and which house do they belong to? And we have some of that kind of foreknowledge now. So I think it was just figuring out the new names and who are the key people we're going to need to pay attention to. But I liked it.
Guys, you know what's trending right now? Hooters.
What?
So this
Hooters
is what
is trending.
I was looking at. Right as you said that,
What?
I was trying to figure out why Hooters was trending.
So Hooters, the place for wings, is that their what is their slogan?
Yes.
Is it the place for wings?
I have no idea.
So.
Okay. That's why people go. But they have signed multiple players in college football to NIL deals. A bunch of guys, actually. And it looks like it's mostly from the SEC, including a bunch of Mizzou guys.
And 6
and it looks
Oklahoma
like it's,
offensive linemen.
Offensive linemen, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it's all offensive linemen.
Yeah. So, and for people who aren't quite sure what NIL is, that's now what collegiate athletes can make money in sponsorship deals.
Right. So I was Googling what is NIL.
Oh, really?
I did
It's
not know.
name, image, and likeness.
Okay.
So it used to be totally illegal to have any company represent you in any way and pay you money to endorse their products. But now it's totally different. They have passed this law because a lot of people believe collegiate athletes should be paid. And now they can use their own name, image, and likeness.
Why do you
to
think
get paid.
that Hooters is targeting offensive linemen?
I bet offensive linemen love Hooters.
Is it because Hooters is kind of offensive?
Oh, my God.
I don't think so.
What's offensive about Hooters?
Just the idea of it.
They got food?
It's a little
People are trying to
backwards.
make money for college?
Do you know Hooters is struggling because it can't keep up with the internets? What's available on the internets?
I can see that.
Wait, what?
Well,
Yeah.
because why do you need to go to a restaurant and pay money when you could just go on the internet and look
Yeah.
up what you want to look up.
You can get
eat
DoorDash
on the internet.
DoorDash the wings.
Now, I've never DoorDashed Hooters food. Not that I'm not saying it's not worthy of it. I just haven't done it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since it's all about the wings.
It is. Do we even have? Well, yes, we
Yeah.
do. Why am I saying do we have one here? The last one I went to, we used to do it like we did shows there at my last job. And then there used to be one in Union Station.
Yeah.
There did
Yeah.
used to be a Hooters. I remember that. It was always crowded.
It was.
Always crowded at Union
Remember
Station.
when Union Station was like a mall?
Yeah. My friend.
In olden times.
In olden
so
times.
on Halloween last year, the theme was everyday people. And my friend was a Hooters waitress. And her husband was the guy at the Hooters bar that was just drunk and obnoxious at Hooters. That was their costume.
That sounds right.
Pretty easy to pull that off, I think.
I was someone who got locked out of their hotel room. I had a robe and a hotel key. I just walked around.
If there's anybody that would get locked
That's
out
a
of a
cheap
hotel,
costume.
it would be.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
All right, it's Monday on the show coming up after the news. A lot of people are not happy at work, and I'm not talking about Ron and Amy. We'll do that next up on KMOX.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. If you want the best looking home in the neighborhood, call Banner Construction. You should know that Banner is a James Hardie Elite Preferred Contractor. James Hardie Fiber Cement Siding has the rich look and feel of wood. And Banner is also a Platinum Certified Pella Window Contractor. Those Pella windows are beautiful, and they come with a 30-year warranty. Since 1993, my friends at Banner have engineered their projects to go beyond the basic low-cost solutions. That's more than 25 years of experience. And now is the perfect time to plan for this important project and do what the Brennans do. Call on the experts at Banner. They're ready to help. After all, one of the safest investments you can make today is an exterior renovation to your home. And Banner Homes have timeless beauty, striking curb appeal, and ultra-low maintenance. If you take pride in your home, trust it to the team of experts at Banner Construction. Call 314-569-1050 or online, bannerconstruction.com.
What makes for a great vacation? Depends on who you ask. Are you looking to get away or bring everyone together? Do you want to get outside and play or see a play at the plate? Fortunately, however you operate, I'm the destination you've been looking for. The name's Missouri, but you can call me Mo. And I have just one question. What's your MO? Come see me at visitmo.com.
Beast Plumbing is the premier plumber in St. Louis. They work all over the region, and they do everything from stopped-up toilets, sewer repairs, sewer lateral camera inspections, sewer and drain cleaning services, faucet repair services, water pressure services, water filtration. They've got water treatment systems, water softeners, water filters, and they've got an August special, $75 off a toilet install. How about that for a deal? Get a hold of Beast Plumbing right away, BEISplumbing.com, or call them 314-698-1154. Tell them Bo sent you to Beast.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Wall Street Journal reported that home equity is at record levels. And while home values continue to soar, rising interest rates make it harder than ever to unlock equity. But what if you could cash out your home's equity right now while it's still sky high and not have to move? You can with Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. Best of all, you get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays your home's full value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of, like travel or pay off debt. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 1-855-300-9993. 1-855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we've got some sun and 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. There's breaking news about one of the key figures in this country's battle with the coronavirus, Dr. Anthony Fauci. He says he's stepping down from his posts at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and as chief medical advisor to President Biden, effective this December. CBS News White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
In an interview with the New York Times just last month, Dr. Fauci said he would almost certainly step down before the end of President Biden's first term. Now he says he'll depart this coming December. But the 81-year-old infectious disease expert insists he's not retiring. Instead, Fauci says he plans to pursue the next phase of his career while he still has so much energy and passion. News of his departure comes as the CDC director publicly airs her own introspective criticism of her agency's response to COVID. Fauci was the public face of that early federal response.
CBS News special report. I'm Steve Kathan.
Former President Trump continues his efforts to reclaim materials seized during the FBI search of his Mar-a-Lago home. CBS News correspondent Robert Costa reports from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Over the weekend, we were told that the former president and his lawyers are looking through that surveillance footage from Mar-a-Lago, wondering how to use it, if to release it to the public or use it as some part of political campaign, as he expresses his grievances over the FBI search. No decisions have been made at this moment, but there is real concern on the FBI and DOJ side about this, since threats against agents since the search have spiked.
KMOX Republican analyst John Hancock says we may never know what's in the documents taken in the search.
Especially the top secret documents. There were 4 of those and an additional document that was even a higher level of top secret. We have no information as to what was in those documents, what they related to.
Mr. Trump's legal team wants an independent reviewer to look at the documents. Democrat Michael Kelly says it doesn't make sense to him.
The one question that continues to linger in my mind is, the president was addressed in June with his staff, and they turned in a bunch of boxes of these documents, yet they continue to hold on to them. The question I have is, why?
The Justice Department is facing a fast-approaching deadline. It has until Thursday to provide a redacted copy of the affidavit used to justify the FBI search of the former president's Florida estate. It's back to school for lots of school districts and area universities. Webster University Chancellor Dr. Beth Strobel.
I have never seen an entering class of freshmen and transfer students any more enthusiastic and engaged than this year's class.
Strobel said it could be that they came out of high school with the pandemic changing for them what school looks like. The Illinois Environmental Protection Agency is suspending all household hazardous waste collection events and locations until further notice.
The move comes after a fire occurred at a disposal facility in Ohio. It affects household hazardous waste locations like ones in Madison County that the state EPA supports, as well as scheduled one-day drop-off events this fall. The Illinois EPA is working with its contractor to figure out an alternative for disposal rather than the place in Ohio. The agency is hopeful the suspension will last no later than winter or spring. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk. Yet another company is caught up in controversy over returning to the office. CBS's Jim Krasula has more.
Some Apple workers have started a petition challenging the company's return to office order. The petition says Apple is risking its diversity and staff well-being with the move. Apple CEO Tim Cook sent out a memo last week saying workers must come into the office at least 3 days a week.
The Dow from Stifel's down 443 points right now to 33,262. And we've got a crash on 6440 East at Route N. The right lane is closed. Emergency vehicles 55 South at Germania have the right lane closed. Still working on an accident involving a truck on 6440 going east at Prospect, and also a crash 170 South at 70 on the right shoulder. Weather is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company.
A very nice weather afternoon on this Monday. Plenty of sunshine. 83 should do it for the high. Tonight, clear skies, upper 70s this evening. 62 for the low. Tuesday, keeping it sunny. A touch warmer, but still nice. 85 degrees Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Partly to mostly sunny. Temperatures in the upper 80s. There's no rain in sight. That's holding all to our south. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Chances are you have a lot of people depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
Show here on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler here. You can join us via text anytime you like. 314-436-7900. Voicemails available as well. 314-944-1120. You can also find us on Twitter at the show KMOX. And it feels like over the last couple of months, guys, we've talked a lot about workplace-related issues, whether it's working remotely, which I happen to be doing now thanks to the Rona.
Well, I thought it was because your basketball team had a chance to win the championship.
Well, that was over the weekend. Now it's the other.
And how'd they do?
And we won.
Congratulations.
No, I don't have anything to do with Yachty's basketball team, but we will bring that back up.
Allegedly.
Coming up a little allegedly. We will bring that up coming up later. But from all the issues we've hit on, right? It's people wanting to go back to work versus staying at home. We've had the dual complaint, right? Not enough good jobs, but also not enough people to take jobs. It's kind of this odd thing. Well, this is a little different look, Amy, that you brought to us with a Gallup poll that shows how many people are just unhappy with their jobs.
Job unhappiness is at a staggering all-time high, according to Gallup. CNBC consolidated some of the Gallup poll results, and what they've found is that 60% of people reported being emotionally detached at work. 19% reported being miserable at work. In the U.S. specifically, 50% of workers reported feeling stressed at their jobs on a daily basis. 41% as being worried. 29% is sad, which I represent, and 18% angry, which is Kevin.
That sounds right.
This is checking out. It's like,
man,
you know what it is? It's like they polled only the three of us.
I think there was somebody. These cameras, that's what it is. These cameras that we have running, you can watch us on YouTube. We can watch us on Facebook. By the way, I just think they're monitoring this show. They're like, well, she's sad. He's angry.
No, Amy's both stressed and sad. You're stressed. She's worried and sad, and I'm angry.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's just
that's the three
of
characters
us.
on the show.
We are the poll. And unless you think, working from home could solve this, what they found is worker disengagement actually rises with remote work, and worker disengagement rises with a 4-day work week. And then stress levels rise for in-person and 5-day week workers. And if you want to look at how this affects the bottom line, businesses with engaged workers have a 23% higher profit, while employees who are not engaged, ready for this? Employees who are not engaged cost the world $7.8 trillion in lost productivity, which is equal to 11% of the global GDP. That's what you're contributing to, Ranj.
Yeah, that is exactly it. Is Peter from Office Space, and he's explaining to the Bobs, the consultants, that he just comes in and he spaces out at his desk for about the first hour of work, and he does really only about 15 minutes of actual work throughout the course of the day. I can see that being totally true. And I don't believe this is the exact same study, but and really it isn't a study. It was a survey done by Indeed Forrester. And they asked people, what makes you happy at work? First of all, there were two questions, really, two main questions to figure out. The first one was, what do you think matters when we talk about happiness in the workplace?
Okay.
And when asked that question, a third of people, and this was the plurality of the responses by far, said that they think being paid fairly is the thing that contributes to well-being in your job. But in real life, in actual practice, the two things that contribute to whether or not you are happy at work, one, being energized, two, belonging. So you put those two things together, it's feeling like you're part of a team that's actually working for something. Being paid fairly was down at like 8%.
Yeah.
That was in the real world practice. So people think when you ask them on the surface, what's the most important thing about being happy at work? They say, well, probably being paid better. But when you're actually in your job, you're doing the work, you're there every day. It's not about being paid fairly for a lot of people. Apparently, it's about being part of a team and feeling like everybody is on the same page.
That's so
But it's got to
interesting.
be real, right? I mean, I've had jobs where you get the rah stuff, and you're like,
Yes.
hey, like, all right,
Well,
I
you
don't.
can
It's just
tell in
that's
tell
just
me that
corporate
it's a
speak.
team. Like, make me feel it, right? Give me a reason to believe it. How do you believe it? So, like, for you guys, what matters in that regard? Number one, I would think, is how involved you are when it comes to significant things at work, right?
Mhm.
I mean, if you're, I've had this. I mean, I'm going back to like early career jobs, college jobs, and stuff where it's like, here's the most basic, boring thing. Do this for 8 hours. I did data entry for a job when I was in college. And you're not going to make somebody happy doing that unless you're making them really, really good money. Because there's nothing about it. You're going to be like, yay, I can't wait to enter data. I know that's not everybody, but I mean, some of this is like the kinds of jobs that people have, right? I mean, if you have a job that you've picked, a career that you chose, that you've worked for, that you're passionate about, I bet those numbers are a little bit different.
I believe that the number about being paid fairly might be correct as it pertains to accepting a job.
Right,
I think maybe a third of people at least take a job based on what that job is going to pay, especially if you have a couple of options. You're probably going to go for the money. Not always, but I'd say it's more likely you pick that over everything else. But finding out once you're involved, once you're there every day, whether or not it's a team, whether or not you feel like you're part of the team, or you're energized to reach a goal, you can't know that until you're in it. Like, there's no way to know ahead of time. Like, you can think, oh, yeah, this all sounds great, and I love the direction of the company, but not until you get in it, and then you start to learn the everyday little nuances of how the politics of the office work, or, maybe this guy's not as honest as I thought he was during the interview process. Like, that stuff, you can't really know until you're actually working.
Yeah. Well, and Ranj, to what you were saying, it's not just pay. Pay is not what makes people happy in their work. Well, going back to the study that CNBC pointed out from Gallup, the number one reported cause of dissatisfaction with job experience is a lack of culture that emphasizes respect, community, and acknowledgement for your contribution.
Yes.
That's the number one complaint. The number one complaint is not unfair compensation or, salaries pay being too low. And again, when you're looking at different industries, and people have different preferences. Some people want to take the initiative. They want to be creative and build and grow in their careers. Other people are saying, hey, I want to do the minimum amount possible and get paid and then go home. And that's fine. And that, you need all the different types of workers. But when it comes to respect, which I think corporations can sometimes miss, and I understand the bigger the company, the harder it is. Like, don't give me corporate BS. The way like the stickers are like, hey, let's okay, I'm going to call it out. We have gratitude grams here. It's the stupidest thing. It's the stupidest thing.
What do we have?
Gratitude grams. I know. I'm like,
What
I'm
is
trying
that?
not to be specific.
How come I'm not
Honestly,
getting-
the gratitude grams are the stupidest thing
Amy's
I've
been
ever
sitting
seen.
on this for months.
How come I haven't gotten a gratitude gram?
So I gave Chris Myhill, the former, executive producer of the Charlie Brennan Show, the only gratitude gram I ever gave was to Chris, and it said, "I appreciate you because you wore a swimsuit to work." And he did. He accidentally wore swim trunks. He thought they were regular shorts, and you want to know
With the lining in them?
exactly. He goes,
Okay.
"Well, I thought they make shorts like this." And I said, "Well, your shorts say
Well.
Speedo on them." So anyway, he did accidentally wear a swimsuit to work. That doesn't count as an atmosphere that fosters encouragement and creativity. It's a lot harder than that. And I understand the bigger companies get, the harder it is to keep things personal. But you can't just put a sticker on a piece of paper saying "great job" and then expect that worker to feel appreciated.
We would like to hear from you. 314-436-7900. You can call us. You can
Amy a
text us.
gratitude gram now.
No, I'm not
feel so
giving
bad.
her any gratitude at all.
I was trying to be
You know what?
non-specific.
Not giving Amy a gratitude gram, that is my one thing. That's a thing I'm going to do for this company, is not give her any recognition for a job well done. But I want to hear, what is important to you? Are these surveys stupid? Like, do you think that really it is about being paid fairly or about being paid more money? 314-436-7900, or you can leave us a voicemail. How about that? 944-1120.
And I will say some of my favorite jobs were jobs that did not pay very well, but I would go back to that versus taking a job that paid a lot more that I was miserable every day.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I cannot be miserable every day.
We have a couple of texts. One from a 314 who says, I work on the road by myself. I literally nap till noon. It says if I work hard, my supervisor won't have a job.
What?
I don't know what that means.
Well, maybe it means something like what my college experience
Sounds like a
was.
big
Because
corporation.
Well, when I was in college, one of my jobs was I was a grounds crew guy at a city in suburban Detroit, and we would take care of like the athletic fields, baseball fields, soccer fields, and all that. And we were seasonal, so we only worked in the summer. And if we worked too hard and did too much, it made the regulars look bad.
Mm-hmm.
So they would constantly check us like, hey, slow down, guys.
Yeah.
Slow down.
So-
Yeah.
Kevin,
Yeah, no, I get
Is it
that.
like that? Is that what we're talking
No,
about?
Kevin,
Maybe.
that's a real thing because I had a friend. I know someone who's this friend. He's very good at his job, and some would say more capable than his manager was. So, in order to feel, I think, important, the manager would criticize this friend or make up busy work
Mhm.
because the manager, I think, either felt threatened or knew that he wasn't
Sure.
as needed because the guy underneath was actually, better
Probably,
at the job.
yeah. I'm sure that
and that's
happens
frustrating
a
to
lot.
workers. That's frustrating.
Another texter who is either texting us from the past or the future, I can't tell which. He says, get off the sports.
What?
Please call Charlie to get ideas on interesting topics.
Yeah.
You guys are losing listeners every day. Well,
Is it like
we haven't talked
age,
sports in an
or-
hour, so
Also not true.
did we just talk sports?
No.
We
No, it
talked
was an
sports
hour
like
ago.
an hour and 15 minutes ago.
Right. Like I said,
Also,
we'll do
you
the
guys,
math. We did.
hey,
we do 16 segments a day. We
I feel
might
like we're
do
doing.
two or
I feel like
three
we're
on
doing okay.
And what this texter doesn't know is we are the fastest growing radio show in the area.
You mean
Shut up.
yes?
Yes.
In this room right now? Yeah.
Yes, in this room
No,
at
I think
this
it's
moment.
actually true. Anyway, we are. So more listeners every day. The
Nice.
texter's
Yeah.
wrong.
So, all right, we need to stop talking about sports in this segment, which we
Yeah,
have
'cause
been.
we weren't.
Oh,
But
hey, guess what's
anyway.
next? Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, but this isn't about sports. This is not about sports. This is about international diplomacy. Dennis Rodman is going to save an American citizen abroad. We'll get to that coming up next on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
We are all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Improve your gas mileage by properly inflating tires and taking your car in for a tune-up. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, To eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Almost everyone wishes they could play the piano. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. But few ever learn, and here's just a few of the reasons why. I can't read music, it will take too long, it's too expensive, it's too hard, or I've tried before and I failed. And this would be true with most piano lessons, but not with Lacefield Music's groundbreaking and innovative adult piano classes. With Lacefield Music's classes, you will learn how to read music, play with both your right and left hand the first week, and be able to play your favorite songs in only 8 weeks. Lacefield Music's adult piano course is usually $100, but twice a year we open this course up to the public for the low price of only $29.99. That's only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. What have you got to lose? Classes are forming now in our South County and Chesterfield locations. Call either location or go to lacefieldmusic.com to sign up. That's LACEFIELD music.com.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
Cassell feeding Robert Horry and blocked by Dennis Rodman. What a great play by Rodman, blocking Horry.
Those are the kind of defensive plays that stop momentum.
All right, it's Monday on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Course, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Highlight there, Dennis Rodman doing Dennis Rodman things. And in addition to being one of the great rebounders of all time and one of the great defensive players in NBA history, apparently he is now becoming one of the best
diplomats,
unofficial ambassadors.
He's got to be
for
a
the
spy.
United States of America.
He's got to be, and I'm speculating
be
here. I'm speculating. I don't know this for a fact. So allegedly, he's got to be a spy.
Can I just...
Dennis Rodman is the worst spy in history.
He just built the world's greatest cover.
So here's what Dennis Rodman told NBC News. Quote, I got permission to go to Russia to help that girl. I'm trying to go this week.
He doesn't even know her name. We're talking about Brittany Griner, obviously.
Yeah. And NBC said, Rodman was vague about what kind of permission he was granted.
We know. It's so funny. I don't know if it's funny or not.
It's okay. Go ahead, Dennis.
We know for a fact that the United States government does not want him to go and do this. I mean, he's a private citizen, though, so you can't make him not go to Russia. You can't make him not go over there, and then whatever he does when he's there, you can't stop him.
And would you say that we know he's not supposed to go because the State Department advised, and I quote, do not travel to Russia?
Yes. Again, you can't make him not. You can just hope he listens to you.
It was only advice, Amy. It wasn't a law. It wasn't a rule.
I'll tell you what, though. This would be, if he pulls this off, this would be the best rebound he's ever pulled down ever. If he goes over there and he comes back with Brittany Griner, that would be really something.
Okay. One, when I was listening to Total Information AM this morning, and it was pretty funny to hear the CBS News anchor say, Dennis Rodman has previously called Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader, cool.
Well, we already know.
This headline, by the way, if you saw this headline like 20 years ago during his career, I'm torn between whether or not you'd be like, okay, stop playing with this, stop playing, this is stupid, versus, as crazy as it is, it makes sense for him.
Yeah.
For Dennis Rodman, it does. Yeah. And overall, obviously I grew up a 90s Bulls fan, so it's difficult to I don't dislike him at all, but I think he is so weird. There's a lot with him that's not quite right, and that's okay. I think he knows that he's got some issues, but with his relationship with Kim Jong-un, the fact that he would, they were buds, man.
Mm-hmm.
They were, and he used to talk glowingly about Kim Jong, and that was a really bad idea at the time he was doing that. And now he's going to go over to Russia and bring back a hostage.
So
it's just so funny to me.
My initial thought was everything that we're all thinking now. What a weirdo. He's wacky. It's an embarrassment that he loves these autocrats who are responsible for all of these human rights violations. And then I stopped and thought, but what if, because Rodman thinks Putin is, quote, cool, he was able to get Brittany Griner back where the United States government doesn't have to give back the Merchant of Death. And we don't have to make that exchange.
Well, we're releasing that guy in a couple of years anyway.
Do we just kind of say, we
Yeah.
got her back?
I guess. I think you just be happy. Who was there was a, there was a government official of some kind who went against the United States government years ago to bring back somebody who was imprisoned, I think in North Korea. I don't recall who the person was. And he didn't have the permission to do it. He had the permission to talk to them. He was actually, I believe he was a U.S. ambassador. And he was there and he negotiated and got the guy home. He did it outside of what the government gave him permission to do in the moment. I guess the bottom line is, if you get it done, you get it done. Great.
I will say, maybe Rodman should not wear the wedding dress because that does not go over big in Russia.
He's over that now.
Well, you better not do an in-person meeting with Putin either, because he doesn't like to feel small.
Real quick, Kevin, who do you think's a bigger tyrant? Is it Vladimir Putin or Michael Jordan?
Wow.
Jordan was tough on his teammates.
He was. I'll go Putin, but it's close.
Okay.
No, that's not true.
He speaks his mind.
If I am being critical of a player about something, if that player walks in the door right now, I will have no problem discussing what happened and why I was being critical.
Brings you insight into the game.
I think most of us can agree that if there's one thing that the Cardinals need, it's high level, top of the rotation starting pitching.
Welcomes big name guests.
We welcome Bob Costas.
He's the new host of the Meyer Jensen Sports Open Line.
My name is Matt Pauley.
Matt Pauley, non-Cardinal game nights at 6 on KMOX.
This time of year, you might notice that the brick in your patio is going astray. Call Morelli. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan for Morelli Tuck Pointing, which has won every award possible in this industry, including the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to companies with exceptional customer service. Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis and beyond for 31 years. Morelli can do completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches, patios, caulking, waterproofing solutions, and much more. Family-owned and operated, and a lot of longtime employees that are like family. Call and request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387 or online at MorelliTuckPointing.com. And don't forget to check out their great reviews on the Google and Better Business Bureau websites. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey for my trusted friend and realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is the agent I've been recommending for years. If you are planning to sell your home in this crazy seller's market, you do not want to leave a single dollar on the table. You'll love working with Gloria. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she will buy it guaranteed in writing. Her secret? Well, Gloria has the buyers. Thousands of ready buyers looking for homes in your price range and in your neighborhood. Lawrence and Shelby sold their St. Louis home in just 3 days at $17,250 over asking price with multiple offers when their previous agent produced 0 results. They chose Gloria over other agents and they were thrilled with the results. You should call Gloria Lou today with any questions. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
At 11:30, we've got some clouds and 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert who became a household name during the pandemic, announced today he will depart the federal government in December. That's after more than 5 decades of service. A car maker makes big cuts.
Ford is cutting 2,000 of its salaried and 1,000 of its contract workers as of September 1st. Those job cuts will come in the U.S., Canada, and India. Ford says it's to improve cost effectiveness. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
Owning a National Football League team continues to be big business. Forbes is out with its yearly franchise valuation listing. Our former team in St. Louis, now the Los Angeles Rams, ranks third at $6.2 billion. The Dallas Cowboys are first at $8 billion, followed by the New England Patriots at $6.4 billion. In last place, the Cincinnati Bengals at only $3 billion. Right now on the roads, we do have a vehicle fire 270 north past 55. The 2 right lanes closed. They've cleared a crash on 6440 east at Route N. Emergency vehicles on 55 south at Germania, the right lane closed, and a water main break on Barry between Kirkham and Manchester Road. Weather is sponsored by Reinhold Flooring. Nice afternoon today with some sun, not too humid with a high 85. Clear overnight, the low 70. Tomorrow, sunny, warm, not as humid with a high of 86. Want beautiful flooring at a competitive price? Reinhold Flooring has first-class flooring products, professional craftsmen, and a knowledgeable, caring sales staff. Start your next project by scheduling a free in-home measuring consultation at reinholdflooring.com. That's reinholdflooring.com. 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Trish Gazelle for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Online at youridoc.com or 314-966-5000.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
You saw people you haven't seen in a while.
You went places you haven't been in a while.
And you accumulated new and different junk.
You came home and you said,
"Where are we going to put all this?"
Relax. We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
No lifting.
No carrying.
No banging and bumping into walls.
Just a beautiful wide open space full of happiness and sunlight.
You'll have room to roam.
To breathe again.
You've never felt so free.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
The following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Albert Pujols comes to bat.
Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols talks with Tom Ackerman Mondays at 9:50.
He hits a fly ball left field, and it's gone!
Exclusively on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Coming up on 11:34 here on the show. And, of course, Cardinals baseball coming up a little bit later on tonight. 6:10 for the pregame show, 7:05 for the first pitch. Cardinals and the Cubs have a 5-game series over the next 4 days, and obviously we'll be talking about that in 1 hour with our very own Matt Pauley. That'll be during our Redbird Report at 12:30.
Oh, no, sports. Text messages to 314-436-7900. Text the show. This one from a 314 who says, I agree with Amy on recognitions. They should occur organically in the office, and work-life flexibility is huge especially for parents. And I get that part. I mean, I don't have kids myself, but I was thinking about that yesterday. Like, I know it's back to school week and kids are going back, and I'm wondering how many parents are out there like, oh, thank God, thank God the kids are going to be in school so that I can take care of some business and I don't have to worry about making sure they're okay throughout the day. I can't imagine what it's like in the summer when they all come back and you've got a job and then you got to find a place for them to go, as if they're young children. That is a lot to deal with. So if you have the option of working from home, that has to be a huge boost for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%.
And somebody agreed with you, Amy,
I
on
appreciate it.
recognitions.
Because you can't be detached from employees, or you can't have a toxic work environment and then try to fix it with some ersatz Hallmark card saying, good job. We appreciate you, when the actions haven't shown that.
I like stickers.
I will say, though, to the money topic, because I do agree that a lot of money makes even a bad job better. It doesn't mean it's a good job, just makes it better. But I know that over my life, I've chosen a career that doesn't pay as much as others would.
Oh, I've done that my whole life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I love radio. I want to be in it. I want to talk about things on, sports and movies and news and all that stuff. I want to do it. And there are plenty of other careers out there that pay more, but I wouldn't want to go to work every day. I'd be the time to make the donuts guy. Time to make the donuts.
That doesn't sound like a terrible job. Now, they got great coffee. You probably get it free. And I'm sure you know a lot of people like this in your life, Kevin. I do for sure. Amy's relatively new to being in radio, but
yeah.
I'm
new to radio.
I know so many people who are like, I can't do this anymore. They leave radio, they go do something else, and then a year or two later, they're like, I hate that. I'm coming back. I hate it. And I know quite a few people who have done that.
Yep.
So it really is. And knowing they were going to go back to an environment where they may not be getting paid well, because they weren't getting paid well, which is why they left in the first place. They came back to it anyway, knowing the pay prospects aren't going to be much better.
And everybody has, different tastes for what you want to do, what you like to do. For me, I can't do the corporate thing. I can't do it. And while technically we work for a corporation, we're on the non-corporate side, right? We're on the radio. It's a little bit different. But my whole life, I have taken jobs that I have either not paid enough so that I needed 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet, so you can pay for insurance and you're writing the rent check. And I loved writing. And I can tell you that writing is not lucrative for the vast majority of writers. You can mention J.K. Rowling. And it's like, yeah, she's the one.
She's it. Yep.
She's it. She's the one that made it. And so
R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so
why do they all have so many initials?
It sounds important.
Yeah, it does
when I
sound
write,
better.
I'm Amy L. Mark Scores.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, the middle initial sounds smart. But again, it was something that I was passionate about. So I loved tutoring. I loved writing. Even working at the running store to help tie up the ends, again, to help pay for insurance. It was fun. You're pursuing a passion.
I think you sound much smarter. You have to add the second initial, or you have to have the initial at the beginning of your name.
That's a great one.
So if I were, like M. Christopher Ranji, like that sounds great,
that
right?
That does sound good.
Like I don't know why people do it, but.
So it'd be like Kevin Wheeler, Amy Mark Scores, and M. Christopher Ranji.
You like that?
Yeah. It sounds like you're a baron.
Do you know what I don't like? I was at one time very much on board with Dan Price.
Oh, yeah.
You know who Dan Price is. He was the CEO of the company out of Seattle who had decided to take his $1 million salary, or maybe may have been multi-millions of dollars, and he decided that he was going to make sure that all of his employees instead were paid a good wage. So every employee at the place, including himself, all made $70,000.
Yep.
That was the starting salary for everybody, because he didn't want people coming in and being paid 30 or 35 and then having to struggle to live, especially in an area like Seattle that is expensive. Well, good deeds do not necessarily mean the guy himself is good.
And to clarify too, you probably, if the name Dan Price sounds familiar, or the the moral CEO. He was considered the only moral CEO. And again, he took $70,000 when he could have taken millions. He was also very active on Twitter. So his tweets, which were all the right things about workers and social justice and respect, for instance, lifting someone out of poverty is the most effective antidepressant in the world. That was liked almost 200,000 times. He also said, there's no labor shortage. There's a shortage of jobs treating people with basic respect. That was liked over 100,000 times. He was very active on social media, and people really liked him.
Until?
Well, he's been accused of sexual harassment from a lot of different assault and a lot. So it turns out he is potentially, and I guess all of this stuff is alleged. It has not been proven in court, but there's a lot there.
And I just to clarify, including rape allegations.
Yeah.
This is no small offense, and it's not one thing. It's multiple women, multiple similar stories of sexual assault, him forcing himself on women, him having sex with them when they were otherwise compromised on drugs, or I should say on drugs, like maybe they were high and not exactly all the way there, or drunk. And one was in a taxi where she wasn't compromised. He just decided, hey, you're in a car. I can take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And there are trails, again, because we have to be careful what's alleged, what's been proven, but you can see real-time texts and communications that these women had with their friends, with police saying, I was just assaulted. I was just raped. And even he would deny certain allegations of rape and then change his story. Go, well, it was just this. Well, actually, it was just this. Like, he's on the record lying.
It's unfortunate because, it's unfortunate for the women first and foremost. It is also unfortunate for a person who has cultivated this persona of being a good guy, of getting something right. And I do think that on the level of his company and what he did for his employees, that's great. And if other CEOs around the country wanted to model something close to that, that'd be great. But we know they're not. I mean, this is very unusual for a person to make the decision he did on compensation. Say, I'm not going to be paid 500 times what my employees are. I'm going to be paid the same as them, or maybe just a little bit more than the rest of them.
So he wasn't taking like an annual bonus.
Doesn't sound like it.
Based on profits, because I don't believe that for a second.
It doesn't sound like it, but maybe there's something hidden we never heard about. I feel like we would have heard about it. I feel like somebody would have figured that out. Yeah.
So the profits are his.
Yeah.
So that's instead of taking a salary, he's just like, I won't call it a salary. I'll just keep the profits.
Well, he's the CEO. I don't know if that necessarily means that he owns the company, but
either way, this is the next step is just, I don't know why. Does it feel predictable to you guys? Like, it feels like
kinda
every time you hear something in the corporate world that, like, it seems like it's too good to be true. There's always something. Hopefully not this. Hopefully not, alleged rape and sexual assault, but it just feels like there's always somebody going to pull something out from under.
I wouldn't but I wouldn't even say it's just the corporate world. I think it's anytime there's a quote unquote hero in the story, right? In the news, where it's somebody that we somehow lift up as, this is the epitome of what we as a society need. That person inevitably is going to have a past or take actions that are at best offensive and at worst illegal, criminal.
Right. And I don't know what it is about a position of power or notoriety, but it makes you feel like you can get away with things. Which doesn't,
for sure.
Which doesn't compute to me any longer, because it's so much harder, it seems like, to do that, because there are eyeballs on you all the time. There are cameras. Everybody has a camera. Everybody has social media. Word can get around. If you're a creep, people will find out about it. So I don't understand why. Well, first of all, I don't understand having that mindset of, I'm going to do what I want to do, and these ladies are going to like it. But secondly, like, why wouldn't you think, I'm in a really good position? I have some fame here, a level of fame. I'm just going to be I'm just going to be a good person.
Maybe you don't get to those positions without having some of those characteristics.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Narcissistic characteristic, the listen, this is my world and I'm going to take what I want, that kind of thing.
I wouldn't necessarily, you can't get there without it. I do think power is by nature corrupting. I mean, we know that. And with your ego, it grows. You start to become, you think that you are somehow the exception, that you're better than other
Yes.
people. And when it comes to why doesn't he think this is going to get out, part of it is that narcissism, it's the allure of power. And part of it is, especially with men preying on women like Deshaun Watson, you count on them feeling alone and isolated. You count on making them feel like somehow it's their fault, making them believe that no one will believe them, which is what Dan Price told these women. He said, no
Yep.
one will believe you. And they know that it's putting these women in a situation. Well, not only do they have to recount a traumatic experience that it comes with all those negative emotions, but also can make you feel embarrassed because it's so personal. You don't want to have to put that out there. And then knowing you'll have to relive that over and over again against an extremely popular public figure or athlete. This is why women stay quiet. I'm telling you, it's so difficult for women who have been victimized to speak out against these super popular, powerful men. It makes their lives a living hell.
And he wrote this on a LinkedIn post too. Quote, in the unlikely event that you are falsely accused, remember that it will be much easier for you to overcome false allegations than it will be for actual victims to overcome the trauma of harassment or assault. So he's kind of confusing the issue. And he's doing that on purpose. And it's extremely bothersome to me. And everything Amy just said is correct. Part of the problem is, and maybe the major part of the problem when it comes to people of fame and wealth and notoriety, is that there are so many people in the public who are willing to go to bat for that person.
Yes.
So all they have to do is say, this is all nonsense. And, like when it's an athlete, what do sports fans do, Kevin? When it's an athlete, they jump to his defense right away because all they know is that guy helps my team win. I don't care about this other stuff. Deshaun Watson, Cleveland fans are doing it right now with him.
Not all of them, but there's a percentage.
I would say
it's
mostly.
a big percentage.
Yeah, it's most.
And again, like I said, it's so difficult for these women, especially. So one of the women had been drinking, and so she's not driving home. She's making the right decision. He said, why don't we, like my Tesla, we can take us home. He attacks her in her car. People will say, well, she shouldn't have been drinking. Well, what was she wearing? And that type of nonsense cannot be tolerated. And to all the women who have spoken out, I have the utmost respect for you. You are brave.
What I'm about to say and what I'm about to offer, remember this. Just because it's more expensive, trust me, our higher energy rating doesn't make it better, but we ran out of our recommended stock. So here's what I'm doing, and I made a deal with my supplier, is I'm selling the higher end ones for the same price as the really good ones. You're going to pay the price for the really good ones at the less than what the higher end ones charge because they don't have it anymore. Made that deal for you. So that's till they get the supply up. So I would imagine you're going to need air conditioning speed from now through September. That's what I promise to you. It's a great price, and we do have the equipment. So if you need me, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
With football season really coming up here soon. In fact, I think this Saturday, the college football season starts. One thing that I love is to either watch college football or pro football with pizza. And I want it to be in my house. I don't want to have to go through the trouble of ordering it or going and getting it or having it delivered. I want it in my freezer. So I just pop it in the oven, park on the couch, and I'm good for the day. And here's my recommendation to you. If you're like me in that way, head to the grocery store, check out the freezer aisle, and grab yourself a couple of the Brew Pub Lots of Matzo pizzas. Half a pound of award-winning Wisconsin mozzarella cheese on every pizza. The wrapping is clear. Yeah, there's a label on there so you know that it's Brew Pub Lots of Matzo pizza, but it's mostly clear because they want to show off the ingredients, not just all of that amazing cheese, but everything else as well. So I had the bacon cheeseburger pizza a few days ago, and big chunks of ground beef right there in view. If you get I do love the Hawaiian. I know a lot of people don't like pineapple on pizza. I do. I love the Hawaiian. big chunks of pineapple. You got the Canadian bacon in there as well. The toppings are fantastic, and they don't just look good. The taste backs up. I mean, this is a great choice when you're kicking around on the weekend and you just want to be relaxed and pop something in the oven. So check them out. It's Brew Pub, lots of matzo pizza, and they live up to the name. It's a fun name to say as well. Get to the freezer aisle. It's Brew Pub, lots of matzo pizza.
Make your dream home a reality at Eagle Ridge on Lake Lou Yeager, just 1 hour north of St. Louis in Litchfield. Choose from 41 new waterfront and wooded sites on this 1,400-acre lake to design and build your own home using your own contractor. Then enjoy the active Eagle Ridge lifestyle with friends and family on and off the water year-round. Discover why more than 140 families now call Lake Lou home. For more information, call 217-324-8151. Eagle Ridge. This is real lake living just a short drive from St. Louis.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. This year, Banner Construction is working on the back deck at the Brennan household, and this now marks the 6th time on over 2 different homes that Banner has helped the Brennan household, and they can help you too if you give them a call at 314-569-1050. If you'd like your home to be the neighborhood showcase, or if you just have an exterior renovation that needs some serious attention, Banner Construction has the equipment and the craftsmen with more than 25 years of experience. They also carry the top products, including that James Hardy fiber cement siding. Banner is a James Hardy elite preferred contractor, and that James Hardy siding has the rich look and feel of wood. That's why it's preferred by so many luxury home builders. Then there are those Pella windows. Believe it or not, they come with a 30-year guarantee. No other product or service offers that. And Banner is a platinum certified Pella window contractor. That's Banner Construction at bannerconstruction.com.
I've loved dancing for as long as I can remember, so my doctor really encouraged me to go back to it. Regular checkups, thorough exams, a whole wellness plan tailored just for me.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in exceptional care for older adults. Our dedicated care teams provide the personalized care you need to stay healthy and live life more fully.
Age may be just a state of mind, but I mind it a lot less when I feel good.
Get the care you deserve. Visit oakstreethealth.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Summer items like garden hoses, pool toys, and lawn chairs are not recyclable and best donated to charity. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
You can make our city safer by empowering people to change their lives, make safe and smart decisions, and find meaning. Learn more at missionstl.org/KMOX.
Charlie Brennan sees clearly thanks to Dr. Bertie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Who is this guy?
Kevin Wheeler.
With exaggerated mouth and tongue movements.
On the show.
Chris Ranji on the drums.
You know what he is?
Amy Mark scores with the head shake.
He's an engaged employee.
I'm engaged right now to this
stuff.
job. Yeah, it's really fun to like people you work with.
Well, you
So
would
I
know.
can't. I'm
waiting for the smart ass follow up.
I'm still coming around on Amy. But you, Kevin, I've loved you for years.
Yeah, we've known each other for a long time.
Like
How long?
16 years.
Yeah, it's like it's
I think it is like 16 years.
Yeah, I think it's going back to 06.
That's right.
You know what's so great is we were kind of friends before this show. All of us. We were friends before the show.
Yeah.
It's like 3 friends, the 3 best friends got together and said, hey, let's do a show. And this is what you got. Folks.
I am extremely tired of your face now. Just kidding.
We would talk like occasionally. And even I think when this started, I said, you do realize you have to see me every day.
That's what I tell Steve Moore, our boss. here at KMOX. I say I was on a once-a-month schedule with Amy, and it was great. Once a month, maybe once every other month. It was fantastic. Now it's 5 days a week. That's quite an acceleration.
It is.
One of the things I've enjoyed the last couple of months are people that don't pick up on like that these are jokes.
Oh yeah.
No, hey,
They're like,
don't
stop being mean to Amy. Like, this is not being mean. This is what friends do. They tease each other.
don't explain it to them. Let them keep thinking that.
Oh no, I want them to, because I feel like some of them genuinely stress about that.
Good, let them stress.
You shouldn't stress about that.
Let them stress.
Didn't I? Okay, well, maybe I'm the stressy person. These people are my
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
people because I made fun of Ranji for looking so much older than he is. And then I called him. I was like, hey, Ranji, you don't really look that old.
Yeah, she felt bad
Feel
about it.
bad when you rip on somebody.
Like, and I know I've told this before. I think I have. I shouldn't say I know, but there was a conversation that Amy and I had on the air, and I think it was before this show started.
Yeah, probably.
And we talked about whatever the thing was. I don't even remember. I think it was about Governor DeSantis, maybe. And then, like 3 days later, she texted me and she said, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that conversation we were having, I'm sorry, and you were right about it, whatever." And I'm like, "What? Like, this was 3 days ago. I don't remember it. I have no idea what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
don't know what I said. I have moved on, but she's still thinking about
I'm
it."
like the listeners who don't move on. I think
Yeah.
about it over and over again. I'm like, wait, what did we say?
Yeah.
No, I
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think about these things. And then
Yeah.
I text
always-
Kevin,
Ranj.
Like, there's the joke, because I am quick to anger, and that is actually somewhat true. But I'm also quick to just move past it.
yes.
Both of
Like,
you
it's
are.
over.
That's a normal person thing. Normal people
there's
do
a
that.
Vulnerability in radio. I mean, we're all being very honest all the time for 4 hours a day. That's a lot of stuff to say.
I feel fine.
I'm never vulnerable.
Yeah, I feel fine too.
I'm impervious
Yeah.
to all things.
Everybody calls me an idiot. I'm so used to it. Like, it does nothing. You can't hurt my feelings.
He's Chris Ranji. That's Amy Mark Scores. I'm Kevin Wheeler. It's the show on KMOX. We'll hit some of the top stories of the day when we come back.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomesaintlouis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com or call 314-328-8000.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Wall Street Journal reported that home equity is at record levels, and while home values continue to soar, rising interest rates make it harder than ever to unlock equity. But what if you could cash out your home's equity right now while it's still sky high and not have to move? You can with Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. Best of all, you get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays your home's full value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of, like travel or pay off debt. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 1-855-300-9993. 1-855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, we've got some clouds and 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story this hour, the nation's top infectious disease expert says he will leave the federal government by year's end.
The threat to you is now.
Dr. Anthony Fauci has been the public face of the government's COVID-19 response, and before that, HIV, AIDS, and other diseases. Come December, Fauci says he will step down as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases after 38 years, and also leave his position as President Biden's chief medical advisor. Fauci says he's not retiring, but rather planning to pursue the next chapter of his career. The president says Fauci has touched all Americans' lives, and the nation is stronger and healthier because of him. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Pfizer has asked U.S. regulators to authorize its combination COVID-19 vaccine that adds protection against the newest Omicron variants. CBS News medical contributor Dr. David Agus explains more.
The problem with these boosters is they still will not block transmission, and so transmission will continue to happen. The hope is over time, science enables development of a transmission blocking booster. That is something that will bring what we call mucosal immunity into the picture to block, hopefully stop transmission and spread of COVID-19.
Moderna is expected to file a similar application soon. Within a 5-hour period, 4 people shot and killed Sunday evening appear to be unrelated, according to St. Louis's public safety director.
Dan Isom says in one of those 4 killings, police do have suspects.
Any loss of life is distressing, but when they happen in such a short period of time, it certainly calls for concern.
The St. Louis Police Department is down 135 officers, and mandatory 12-hour shifts will end in August. Isom says police are tired, and as of now, there are no plans to require officers to work a 12-hour day. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The University of Missouri-St. Louis is best in Missouri and among the nation's top 100 for social mobility, as ranked by U.S. News and World Report. Chancellor Christian Sobolik joined Total Information AM to explain what that means for Pell Grant recipients at UMSL.
Positive wraparound services to make sure that those Pell Grant eligible students have success. They graduate so that they're not, in essence, kicked out of the system with debt. That's the worst thing.
About 78% of UMSL students receive some sort of financial aid. The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, economic adjustments.
When companies were begging for workers, they offered all kinds of incentives. And now Dow Jones reports they're scaling back. The Society for Human Resource Management says the share of employers offering paid maternity leave beyond what the law requires dropped to 35% this year. 2 years ago, it was 53%, a reaction, the companies say, to inflation and an effort to bring business back to what it was before the pandemic. That may be difficult. The New York Federal Reserve Bank says its survey has found the lowest pay level Americans would be willing to accept for a new job rose nearly 6% in July over last year to just below $72,900 a year. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel is down 508 points to 33,197. There's a crash on 30 East at 270 with a backup there. Debris on 70 West at Adelaide. The right lane closed. A vehicle fire 270 North past 55 on the right shoulder.
KMOX AccuWeather is going to be a nice afternoon. Sun and clouds, not too humid. High 85 and then down to 70 tonight. Warm, not as humid tomorrow. The high getting up to 86 and then feeling hot near 90 Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with some sun. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Reinhold Flooring. Want beautiful flooring at a competitive price? Reinhold Flooring has first-class flooring products, professional craftsmen, and a knowledgeable, caring sales staff. Start your next project by scheduling a free in-home measuring consultation at reinholdflooring.com. That's reinholdflooring.com. Right now, some clouds. It's 80 in Florissant, 80 in St. Peter's, and 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
It's 12:05 on the show. Amy is lip syncing. You should be karaokeing.
I think she did.
Hey, Ron, have you ever
really?
heard of a karaoke bar?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
The W Karaoke Bar in the Loop. I highly recommend it. It's fun for friends and family.
I hope the W
What
Karaoke
was
Bar
that?
does very well. I hope it continues to do very well.
Anyway, I had a pretty mean rendition of Teenage Dirtbag.
I again, and this is no offense to any establishment that has karaoke as its feature of the bar.
The draw, if you will.
I can't think of a worse time.
Now,
like there's the place.
That can be massively hilarious, dude.
Man, I don't know. Like there's the place in Soulard Carson's, and that is
but this is different.
Crap show.
We were in our
It's
own
a fun
room.
bar, but man, the karaoke.
We were in our own room, and the thing is, I've never been to a karaoke bar / event when there were no spectators. Everybody was a participant. They had a bunch of microphones, so it was mainly like a sing-along versus a karaoke. So you didn't have to get up on stage and have everybody have all their eyes on you, and you are the focus.
I concede, I might be in the minority on this one, that most people may think this would be a lot of fun, and they wish they could do it and want to get their 15 or 20 of their closest friends and go get a private room at a karaoke bar and sing amongst each other. I, honest to God, don't think I couldn't find a worse time.
Okay.
I would rather go to a baby shower.
Okay,
you wouldn't.
honest to goodness,
Then go
Ranj,
to that.
let's make this official. Let's make a contract.
No.
Any wedding or baby shower that I have to go to, you will go in my stead, and I will go to any karaoke night.
No, it sounds horrible.
No,
I'm not saying a
there's
baby shower sounds fun. I'm just saying it sounds worse.
A baby shower,
or not as worse as
Have you ever read Dante's Inferno?
no.
Baby showers and wedding showers are actually the seventh circle of hell, and people don't talk about that enough.
You're supposed to like them.
They're awful. They're so dumb. But anyway, this was a really fun shower. We had a group of people. Kevin, Ranj is on the record saying he's not going to karaoke night because Debbie Monterey heard about my karaoke night and said she wants to do it for her birthday, which means Ranj is no longer invited.
Chuck Barkley called and said, that's terrible. I'm not doing it. I don't want to. A texter from Big Blonde Dan.
Yeah.
He says, you think you all have it bad? I have to listen to you 3-5 days a week. That's commitment.
Technically, you don't have to.
No,
but
he
we
has
do
to.
appreciate that you do, Dan.
No, he has to, and he has to tell his friends that they have to.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
But that's because we are the fastest growing show
In
on
this
radio.
room right now.
On radio in the St. Louis area.
Really?
It's true.
Good
Yeah.
for us.
Because we're great. This is awesome. Okay, what else have we talked about today?
You really sold that. You're like, yeah, we're like great and stuff. You know? It's like the technology and stuff guy, Ron. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
It's got technology and stuff.
Oh, speaking of technology, in the karaoke room, so it's couches and mirrors, and then three big TVs with the words to the songs and the stock music videos, and then there was a tablet on each side of the room. And the tablet, you could control what songs you want in the different genres. But then one of the buttons says service, and so you can hit service, and then you get a server comes and takes all your drinks. So we were doing another round of
Take
drinks.
them, or they bring you new ones.
Well, takes your orders for your drinks.
Okay.
Yeah, drinks
I don't want them to take our drinks.
Can I use the service button to have somebody come in and tell me I have a very important phone call and then leave and never come back?
Yeah. So we hit the service button, and my friend hits the service button, and we think like it's gonna light up or something, and it doesn't. So we're leaning over the couch. The door is at our backs, and we're hitting the service button repeatedly.
Oh, that can't be annoying for the people that are getting on the other side.
We didn't understand how it worked because we didn't know that it was actually registering. So the guy's like standing behind us and finally has to like tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, I've been here, and you're lighting up the buzzer in the service room. Because I thought once you hit it, there should be some acknowledgement. There's nothing worse than a button that doesn't acknowledge that you've pressed the button. You know, it should light up. It should.
I just need to be seen.
I need to be seen. It's like when you click order, when you're ordering online and you click order and then nothing happens, at least have the do not refresh page.
Yes.
We're processing your order. But if you click submit order and nothing happens, it is the worst kind of limbo that you can be in.
I'm sure there's worse, but
Well, in Amy's world,
it's the worst.
She's pretty isolated. And
I think if we were to take
coddled.
a poll, 100%, let me rephrase this. If we were to take a poll, the majority of listeners would be on my side on these daily experiences that a button that doesn't acknowledge that you've clicked it is indeed a perilous limbo to be in.
Indeed.
And that karaoke night with your friends can be fun. Although I understand your hesitation, Ranj, because when we initially reserved the room and had this idea, the day of, before it happened, we were communicating and we're like, who thought of this? Why do we have to do this at 7 o'clock? We were a little worried. Why did we who picked karaoke? And then we were finger pointing. You picked it. I didn't pick it. You told me to make the reservation. And it turned into one of those things, but it was a ton of fun.
Well, everybody's at fault.
Yeah.
And in fact, if it were Fun Police Friday, oh, by the way, Kevin, we made a unilateral decision last week.
Yeah.
Every Friday
Okay.
is Fun Police Friday.
Okay.
And people will call us. They will leave us voicemails.
Mm-hmm.
They will leave us texts. We'd prefer phone calls so we can have some interaction.
Sure.
But they are going to tell us what their weekend plans are. And then we are going to decide if it's okay for them to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like they say, we had one. We had a submission already. A guy asked, can he go golfing?
Yes, and we didn't get a chance to ask him follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Because you can't just say, I'm going to go golfing. Well,
Right. What are you doing that instead of?
Yeah, why? Yeah, what could
Are
you be
you
doing?
married? Are you single?
What do you have to do
kids?
tomorrow?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's
pretty
going to
much
be
like if you're single, do what you want.
it will be just like being pulled over by the police. They ask you a series of
Yeah.
questions. Why? Where are you going? Where have you been?
Yep.
Have you had anything to drink? We're
Yeah.
going to do the same thing. So Fun Police Fridays. It's going to be all Friday.
We also are starting our draft Fridays this week.
And Draft Fridays are this week. We're going to have our first draft. We haven't
Draft
decided.
beer?
Well, we could.
With sponsor. We're going to get it sponsored by a beer company.
Because our 80s week went very well with the draft. We had a draft every week. We drafted the best 80s rock band.
That was
We
every day
drafted
that week, yep.
the best movie line from the 80s, the best commercial from the 80s. So we every Friday are going to have Draft Friday, and we'll be drafting various things throughout the year.
And then you participate in the drafts.
That's right.
Expect to crush it. We also talked about back to school. Today was back to school for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Did you guys look forward to going back to school?
Yeah, I think so. I never dreaded going to school. Yeah. I never
just
really
hated
hated
the process.
it.
Like I didn't mind being there. I didn't mind. I mean, I like seeing my friends, but I didn't like the whole. Hey, guess what? You got to get up at 6:30 in the
Ugh.
morning. Hated
Yeah, me
that.
neither.
Amy's like, I was already up for 2 hours.
I was already up. But no, and again, it was different for us. We homeschooled, and so it was so much fun. We helped pick out our books. We would go to the curriculum fair. You picked out your history book, your math book, your language book. And it was always a very exciting time, but of course, a totally different experience than it was for a lot of kids. Now, my mom growing up hated going back to school, and her birthday's in August. My mom had a birthday this past week. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy
Mom,
birthday.
of course.
Mine
But
too.
She said she always put a damper on her birthday because
Because
it
you
was
knew
like
school was coming.
Yeah, like sometimes
Yep.
your birthday is on the first day of school, or you knew school was coming, the summer was over. And she I think pretty much has PTSD from her school days, and so does Michael Kelly. So Michael Kelly will talk about even hearing, seeing the back to school commercials will give him it's like triggering because he hated it so much.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
The only thing I hated about school was getting up early in the morning. Other than that, it's fine.
Yeah,
did
that
hate
was
the
it
whole,
for me.
Let's go. I did when I was a kid. I hated the time to go back to school shopping and buy all these clothes that you don't want to wear. I hated that.
I didn't like that either.
I still don't like shopping, though.
I'm right there with you. I didn't like the process and then having to be up and then knowing this is what I'm doing for the next 8 hours. I didn't really like that.
That's a really long day. And
It is.
I would have had extreme anxiety being like taking a bus to school, being gone all day, coming home, having homework. If you have sports, I mean, that's the rest of your, not just the rest of your day, that's basically the rest of your year, except for holiday breaks. You're so busy being at school, doing homework, going and do sports. We could cut out all the fluff. You cut out everything that wasn't important, the standing in line. I just like the in between classes, right? Waiting for other kids to finish their work. Anything that was not absolutely focused, you could cut that out. So I was done with school by lunch every day because I could get up, I could start math, I could start English. Now, everybody homeschools differently, and some people take classes. Like I've taught classes at a co-op. I've taught AP literature. So then, of course, you would go to those classes. But we did a lot of the book work on our own. So you would wake up, do school, and be done.
Amy, did you mention a curriculum fair?
Oh, yeah.
You did? Okay.
I love the curriculum fairs.
Texter to 314-436-7900 says, oh, no, there's a 636 texter who says, curriculum fair. That sounds fun.
I know. It was so much fun.
Just Amy.
You have,
God.
you know how it's like all inside stuff? And you know, like homeschoolers too are, and I know it's different because so many people homeschool now, like 11% of families have a homeschooler, you know, households have a homeschooling student. But we were a little bit rarer in the 80s, and it was pretty fun because it was full of inside jokes. So you know how the rest of the world
I would rather
if you never had the school bus ride in the morning when it's 18 degrees and your bus driver's barely awake and you're flying around the back of the bus
and the windows are open.
Back to school.
Hey, let's all go to a curriculum fair this weekend.
Fun police say no. Fun police say no. Speaking of fun police, by the way, a lot of people are fun policing the Prime Minister of Finland. We're going to talk about that next up here on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AAMCO.
And now, it's time for your weekly sports update, powered by Northern Tool and Equipment. With the second half of the season well underway, the battle for first place in the Central Division is on. St. Louis and Milwaukee continue to fight in a close race, with the leading spot on the line. Rankings in the East and West have some extra breathing room, with New York and Los Angeles dominating their competition. This sports update is powered by Northern Tool and Equipment. Shop online at northerntool.com.
54 years, Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. Get a dozen award-winning donuts for under $10. Just bring in the coupon from the website on your smartphone. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in Florissant. Get your dozen and grab a coffee or latte today.
If you're planning to sell your St. Louis area home, now may be the best time to capture the highest sale value before the market changes. This is Debbie Monterey, and according to industry experts, the real estate market has shifted. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty agrees, and she has options to help every type of home seller because she understands that every situation is different. If you need to sell your home quickly, but you're worried about finding your next home, Gloria has your answers and solutions. Gloria has an instant cash offer program that gives you above market cash offers, no showings, no hassles, and you pick the closing date even up to a year, giving you the cash and time needed to find your next home. Call Gloria Liu and ask her about the instant cash offer guarantees or other options that will help you sell fast and for the most money. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has the buyers.com.
It will be the summer of joy in Chicago.
Instead, the trio of Pritzker, Lightfoot, and Fox have made this another summer of murder, mayhem, and chaos.
My granddaughter FaceTimed us saying, "Help me, Daddy's shot." And they threw over him and they executed him. And then they shot at her.
Thanks to Governor Pritzker, the lawlessness of Chicago will soon be the law statewide. Pritzker's so-called Safety Act makes Illinois a safe haven for violent criminals. That's why 100 of Illinois' 102 county state's attorneys oppose Pritzker's mandatory release of alleged murderers, kidnappers, and arsonists. Prosecutors like Will County State's Attorney Jim Glasgow.
It's going to be literally the end of days.
And prosecutors like DuPage County State's Attorney Bob Berlin.
We are going to have violent criminals out on the street.
Stop Chicago violence from coming to your town. Vote no on J.B. Pritzker. Paid for by People Who Play by the Rules PAC.
Almost everyone wishes they could play the piano. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. But few ever learn, and here's just a few of the reasons why. I can't read music. It will take too long. It's too expensive. It's too hard, or I've tried before and I failed. And this would be true with most piano lessons, but not with Lacefield Music's groundbreaking and innovative adult piano classes. With Lacefield Music's classes, you will learn how to read music, play with both your right and left hand the first week, and be able to play your favorite songs in only 8 weeks. Lacefield Music's adult piano course is usually $100, but twice a year we open this course up to the public for the low price of only $29.99. That's only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. What have you got to lose? Classes are forming now in our South County and Chesterfield locations. Call either location or go to lacefieldmusic.com to sign up. That's LACEFIELD music.com.
Live and local. This is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
It's 12:21 on a Monday here on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. You guys text in this segment would be very much welcome because I'm curious to see what people think about this topic. 314-436-7900. The Prime Minister of Finland is 36 years old. How do you, I haven't heard her last name pronounced. Is it Sanna Marin?
Probably.
Either way, maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. But she is the Prime Minister of Finland, and she's 36, and she likes to go out and party on the weekends with her friends. And some videos have leaked of that. Pictures have leaked of them essentially doing what you would do when you go out, right? Dancing, being silly, being weird. And some folks are a little bit upset because this is not becoming a prime minister. And I'm just curious what you guys think about it, because I have no problem with a world leader having fun, being, partying, whatever, as long as you're not being ridiculous. Like if you're out there making a fool of yourself, if you're out there, dancing on tables and breaking things and smashing stuff and starting fights,
drunk,
all right,
stumbling,
we have a problem. But if you're just dancing around and goofing around with your friends, what's the problem with this?
And I don't know if there is video of her dancing on tables or not, but I mean, she's having a good time. Some of the videos are short. Some of them only have stills. There are a few angles when it comes to the Prime Minister of Finland partying. One that we should note is she did fall under some criticism for partying because she was going clubbing during kind of when things were still very careful with COVID, and her foreign minister had tested positive for COVID, and she went clubbing with him that day, and there was a little bit of disagreement on whether or not they knew he had COVID and was it wise for her to be out partying. I would say in the same vein as Boris Johnson hosting parties at his house when everyone else was on lockdown. I think too, she's probably getting extra attention because she's very young and attractive, and she's a head of state. And heads of state do not tend to be young or attractive. And so
or women in general, right?
Or women, right.
They're part of it.
You can go and look at Justin Trudeau, who's considered, relatively young and attractive, but here's a young woman. And then 3 is the whole party aspect. Is it becoming if she's partying? Does it have to do with the pictures leaking? Maybe if we know she's partying, but we don't see the pictures, that helps.
Is she doing her job well? I think that's what I care about in a circumstance like this. I understand image is the most important thing, But if she's doing her job well, if she's not neglecting the country, if she's not putting people at risk, if anything she's doing really doesn't have an effect on anybody else other than them having to see the visual of her being out and having a good time, then I have no problem with this. I don't. I mean, but if she's abdicating duties because she's too drunk to get up the next day and can't make it to work, or she's not available for phone calls if there's a crisis or an emergency.
Well, that's the thing. When she went clubbing with her COVID positive foreign minister, she missed the text that from the government, from her minister, texting her not to, that told her to isolate.
Oh, that's when she got notified.
Yes.
Right.
Because she's like, oh, sorry, I put my phone down. Well, you probably
So
should
then
be
in
available.
that
I actually
case-
have a bigger problem with.
Yeah.
You should never be out of contact with people.
That's right.
Ever.
Now, that is it. That is the one criticism I have of this.
She
is
said-
that you have to be available at all times. That's the job.
And she said that the text was sent to her work phone, which she had left at home.
Which can't do that.
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah,
have
but
to, at minimum, you have to have somebody with you who works with you. I mean, I'm assuming she's got security, right? Like, does she
Yeah.
not have security
I'm
detail?
sure.
Do they
I
not
would
do that in
think-
Finland?
I don't know. Maybe not in Finland. I don't know.
I don't know what they do, but you would think there'd be some kind of security detail that is with her at all times, no matter what. If you're the leader of a country, it doesn't matter how big your country is. Usually you've got security. So at least one of them should be reachable to let her know, hey, this situation has come up. We need to address it. Here's the phone.
And
You
we
know,
need to leave.
that's, yeah. Otherwise, I don't really have a problem with her being out.
I mean, like, is this any different? I mean, I know it looks different because you're dancing and you're visually
Mhm.
being silly, which I guess people wouldn't think of as a world leader. How different is this than every American president playing golf?
Yeah, and that was my question. And I do think we talk about this. Optics matter. Perception is reality. And there is something a bit more restrained, reserved, accessible, and ready to make decisions when you're golfing versus being at a club at 4 a.m., drink in hand. And it's not saying, hey, you're a prime minister, you should never party. It is, I think you do have to say, as the prime minister, I'm setting an example. Leadership matters, competence, seriousness, this all matters. And because of that, you have to maybe be a bit more responsible or not have as much quote unquote fun as you would if you were no longer the prime minister. It's just part of the responsibility that comes with the job as a leader. You shouldn't be seen, you could argue, you shouldn't be seen, well, maybe being drunk at 4 a.m. in the middle of a pandemic when your country is struggling, people
Well,
are
that
trying to find
part's-
jobs. That's tough.
I think that particular incident is terrible. Like, if you're in the middle of a lockdown or if you're in the middle of, implementing somewhat strict rules, you shouldn't be breaking. Like Gavin Newsom did that, right? Didn't he go to a party in the middle of all that stuff? Like, you can't do that stuff. You can't play by a different set of rules. That's not okay.
We have a texter.
I'm just talking in normal times.
A texter to 314 from a 314 says she's amazing. She guided her nation into the NATO umbrella of national security and still has time to party.
Well.
I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. Just don't be too hungover the next day.
She was kicked by Putin in that
Also, as
direction.
Amy points out, Finland is not the United States. A little bit different job running a small country than a really big one. So obviously standards are a bit different there. Hey, we got our Redbird Report coming up next with our buddy Matt Pauley here on KMOX.
This is Megan Lynch. Summer is coming to an end, and that means the school year is about to begin. For families, that can mean a lot of concerns, from COVID to school security to the rising cost of school supplies. All this week, Total Information AM and the KMOX News team will examine all the things that could impact your child's return to class. Information, interviews, and insight. What you need to know to make it a great start to the new school year. From Total Information AM and News Radio 1120 KMOX.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
I'm sure that you've felt the shift in the real estate market and have wondered how it will affect you. Is it time to buy or is it time to sell? What are your options? Hi, I'm Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Give us a call and we can discuss a strategy that works for your individual needs in this ever-changing market. Quality and experience at a more affordable rate. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444. 314-441-4444.
Free Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
At 12:30, it's partly cloudy and 81 degrees downtown at the Arch. Stocks are falling broadly on Wall Street, extending the market's losses amid worries about inflation and the path ahead for the economy. The S&P 500 is down 1.93% in trading this hour. More than 90% of stocks in the benchmark index have lost ground. Ford confirms layoffs.
Ford is cutting 3,000 jobs. The move is intended to boost profits as the automaker looks to fund its $50 billion push into electric vehicles. The cuts include 2,000 salaried workers and 1,000 contractors. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Radio.
And Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious diseases expert at the center of the COVID response, says that he will retire from the federal government by year's end. There's a crash on 170 North before Forest Park Parkway. Use the center lane. A stall 6440 East past I-270 on the right shoulder. Stall 270 South before Tesson Ferry on the right shoulder. Crash on 70 West at 141 on the right shoulder. And some debris 70 West at Adelaide has the right lane closed. Dean DeVore's forecast, a nice afternoon with some sun, warm but not too humid with a high of 85. Clear overnight, the low 70. Tomorrow, sunny, warm, not as humid with a high of 86. It's 81 downtown at the Arch. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Mosby Building Arts.
Mosby Building Arts here, asking what your dream bathroom looks like. Glam and gorgeous, modern and masculine, beachy and bodacious. One thing's for sure, nobody's style is old and ugly. So do yourself a favor and call Mosby for a brand new bathroom that's just your style.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Attention veterans, if you were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. You could be awarded financial compensation for your suffering. Cancers, birth defects, deadly illnesses have all been linked to the contaminated water. Congress is now holding the government accountable, but you must act now. Get your free case review. Call True Law at 877-560-8555, 877-560-8555, or visit sickvets.com. That's sickvets.com.
I remember being a little kid growing up on a farm. We did not have air conditioning. But what we would do for cooling is we would open our windows if we were in the house, but mostly we tried to stay outside of the house and just play around after we got done farming and just run around. And the best thing that ever happened to us was water sprinklers. So we'd run through water sprinklers for, I would say, not to exaggerate, 15 hours a day when it was this hot. Or what we would do when a storm would come, when it would rain, and we lived on a really big hill, and we would just slide down this hill for hours. But if you're like me now, and you say that crap won't work, and your air conditioner is broke, call me. I understand. It's Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or Bart Inman, that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
It's the Cards and Cubs tonight. Ameren pregame show 6:15. First pitch 7:10. Hear the game on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
The pitch by Ueno. Albert is hit high and deep. A home run for Harrison Bader. Yadier Molina has homered. Double play. It's a big fly for Albert Pujols. A home run in the first inning for Goldie.
This is the Redbirds Report.
All right, time for our regular Monday visit with Matt Pauley, host of Sports Open Line, Cardinals pre- and post-game host on weekdays. And I just want to start this off. Matt, welcome in. Hi, how you doing? I'm just want to good. I just want to start off by pointing out a fact. Before Matt came to KMOX, he was in Milwaukee covering the Brewers. The Brewers were in first place and everything was going really well. Since Matt came to KMOX, the Brewers have fallen apart. The Cardinals have gone on a tear. They've won 18 of their last 22. They are now 5 games ahead of the Brewers. I want to say that this is all because of you, Matt.
Well, and let me take it one step further. I mean, not to pat my own self on the back here, but my 5 full years covering the Brewers was the best 5-year run in the history of that organization. They only played 1 game in those 5 years that didn't matter. It was the last game of the season in 2017. So it was their greatest 5-year run, my full 5 seasons with them. And as you mentioned, they were good this year before I left, and now they're not. So, yeah, I mean, people are making a big deal about the Josh Hader trade. It's not bad. It's clearly me.
Well, I'm going to tell you, though, you got something to live up to. My first year at KMOX was 2006, and the Cardinals won the World Series. My first year doing pre and post for the Cardinals was 2011. So you need to bring home a title, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, and Matt, I would just also like to back that up, that the first season that the St. Louis Blues had a female report as the pre and post game host on the radio broadcast, the first time ever. That was me, and we won the Stanley Cup. The Blues won the Stanley Cup, and then that's it.
So we're going to call this the show standard, Matt.
Yeah.
That's the standard. You got to bring us a ring.
There's a lot of pressure. What happens if they don't win? Am I banished back to
No,
I have to go somewhere? I mean, what's going on here?
We just think less of you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. You're with everybody else then.
I left the White Sox and they're equally disappointing. So nothing has really changed. But none of you are John Rooney, who was with the White Sox when they won a World Series in 2005, came here to the Cardinals in 2006, won another ring.
Yeah, he's like Pat Maroon.
He is. He's the Pat Maroon of broadcasters.
There we go. Well, obviously, Matt, this was an interesting weekend for a lot of reasons. I don't know. You start where you want to because there's a lot of topics here, but we started off the weekend after Friday finding out that Yadier Molina was leaving the team to attend to business interests. We've since seen the pictures and the story about him being with his basketball team that won a championship. And we started off with this weekend maybe being, oh no, Monday, Tuesday are going to be ugly, but the Cardinals win both games. Albert steals the show on Saturday, and I don't know where we put all of this, but certainly was an interesting 3 or 4 days.
It was. There's so many things going on. I mean, the Yachty stuff, which is weird. And I think at this point you just have to, I'm not an it is what it is kind of guy. That's not one of my favorite statements in the world, but it really applies to this with Molina. Like, whatever happens. We have to view him differently than you would view almost everybody else. What Albert Pujols is doing, I mean, that game where he hits the 2 home runs, it's ridiculous. It's crazy what he is doing right now, where he's hitting better than 500, and since the last week and a half, 2 weeks, he's hitting all these home runs. If the lefty is on the mound, they've got absolutely no shot against him. We had the Marmol ejection yesterday, which was fun. And I took issue. The one thing that actually really bothered me on that, I don't know if you caught it. Marmol talked about it in his post game yesterday, and he said that CB Bucknor basically questioned how long he had been in the league because he was a first-year manager. And to me, like, if you're an umpire, I think you can never make it seem personal, and you have to really go about your business beyond reproach. So when I hear that Buckner's like taking personal shots at Marmol while they're arguing, that really bothers me. So yeah, a lot happened over
Just
the weekend.
Matt, and I know Kevin knows, little peek behind the umpire curtain for people who don't follow closely. The worst umpire in baseball is by far Angel Hernandez. It used to be Joe West, but now people don't talk enough about CB Buckner, who is considered one of the worst by players. They do not like him. They don't think he's any good. So it's funny that he said that because he's been in the league for a long time and has not improved.
Yeah, like all Marmol had to say was, yeah, I've been in my job for 1 year and I'm already do my job better than you do your job.
That's
and
correct.
You've been here a long time.
Hey, when we go back to what you said about Yachty, how it is what it is, can you explain your mentality, your approach to Yachty's presence on the team? Because as Wheels brought up earlier in the show, there was some comparison to Arenado and Goldschmidt missing 2 games in Toronto because they were not vaccinated, couldn't head over to Canada, and people said, hey, that's really selfish. You're here to support the team. What if the team loses 2 games and ends up keeping them out of a playoff spot? But then with Yachty missing a couple of games for his basketball team, that accusation of selfishness or why isn't he with the team, to me, didn't seem to be as prominent. People weren't floating that out there as much. Can you explain why you think this situation is different than Arenado and Goldschmidt?
Let me say this. I do think it's selfish, but it's also, I don't care. I don't care about the selfishness on this one. Whatever you get from his job is to be with this team in the postseason and help them go as far as possible. And his job is also to catch Adam Wainwright every 5th day so they can make a run at that record. Anything beyond that for me is bonus. And that's going to sound like I'm carrying water for him or that I'm just, letting him have a free pass. I just think you take a step back and look at the totality of the situation. It's not great, but there's nothing you can do about it. So why worry about it? If he wants to go take a weekend off, he missed 1 game, and maybe he missed no games because the way he's playing, like Kisner's going to get a lot of starts right now. He's not really doing a whole lot with the bat. The optics of it are really bad. Like, I'm not going to run away from that. It doesn't look good. There is a selfish aspect to it, but I also don't really care.
Yeah, Ron and I were talking about this earlier, and I said it's almost like you have to view it as Molina being here is the bonus. I think he was ready to retire. The Cardinals wanted him on the team for 1 more year. So we're kind of playing by his rules because the bonus is that he's here in the first place. Whereas Goldschmidt and Arenado, it's expected that they're here and playing the full season. And the exception is that they're not that they're here. The exception for them is that when they're not here.
Yeah, and honestly, the Goldschmidt Arenado stuff, like, it would have been nice if they would have been available for those 2 games. Maybe I'm just too easygoing because I didn't care about that either. They missed 2 games. If the Cardinals missed a game by 1 game, then let's revisit it, I guess. But I just don't get bothered by this stuff. I'm a very agreeable person, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think, first of all, these 2 things are really not that comparable. I mean, even though I disagree with the logic applied by Arenado and Goldschmidt regarding the vaccine, that's a decision about their health. That's a decision about a medical thing. This was, I'm going to go have fun with the team that I own. Those are different things.
Yeah.
And I do think, by the way, it depends. I guess you have to walk in certain corners of Twitter to see it, but I think both situations have been heavily criticized. And I don't think anybody in the media, whether it's TV, radio, print, whatever, I don't think anybody was particularly hard on any of these 3 guys, in part because it was only a couple of days. And in the end, as you point out, Matt, it didn't really change much. I mean, the 2 games in Toronto, they won 1 and got blown out in 1 where the pitcher didn't show up that day. And you won both games in Arizona. So I do think the results and plus the way the team is playing now compared to the way they were playing back then calms people down, if that makes any sense.
It does. And if there would be anything to be worried about, it would be what the reaction is inside the clubhouse. Like, I don't think this has a baseball impact, to be perfectly honest with you. But is there any sort of negative reaction in the clubhouse? And to me, Molina's built up enough equity. And like Amy said, I mean, just everything you get from him this year is bonus. That's a really good clubhouse with a lot of veteran leadership. And if Adam Wainwright and Albert Pujols are going to stand by Molina, and I'm sure they are when he does this, then everybody else is going to fall in line too.
Yeah, generally speaking, I'm kind of where Amy is on this. I think that players should make themselves as available as often as possible because that's their job to be available. And it ended up not mattering the Arenado Goldschmidt weekend. It didn't end up mattering this weekend. But I think I'm more lenient with Molina on this because my assumption is he probably told them, hey, in order for me to come back at all, like this is I'm doing this. I'm taking time off. I'm not doing spring training as hard as normal. I'm maybe not going to be there in the middle of the season for some time. It's either that or I'm not here at all. So I kind of feel like they just went that direction, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
We see this too. Like, you'll have the veteran quarterback who a team gets
Tom Brady.
back.
Didn't Tom Brady skip most of training camp last year? Or am I making that up?
He's not in training camp right now. Nobody knows where he is right now.
I think he just got back today.
That he's doing the mass finger. Like nobody knows where Tom Brady is right now.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he
Does
just
Giselle know where he is?
He did. He just got back to Bucks practice today.
Okay, so he's not missing.
Right, but he did. He
fell out of contact.
Yes.
Fell out of contact.
I get it.
Tom Brady. He doesn't eat nightshades.
One thing I will say,
I think about that all the time.
The one thing I don't like is just say it. I'm going back to Puerto Rico because my team that I own is going to win a championship. I mean, we see the pictures. What good does it do anybody to say? I mean, unless you're not going to go public with pictures.
It is a business reason.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like, that's the part that I think a lot of fans get insulted by, where you're trying to soften it or poo-poo it. And the reality is it's simple. We see the pictures of the celebration. If everybody's okay with it, just say it. It's okay.
It took us 9 seconds to figure it out. Molina's gone for business reasons.
Yeah.
His team is playing for a championship tonight. Oh, that's a coincidence.
Yeah. It's not better if you just don't say it.
Why?
Right.
What is the motivation for not saying it? Is it something legal that we don't understand? That they wouldn't know. Like this is not a funny or hypothetical question. What is the reason? Why would you not just say it? Is it just optics or is it something contractual?
Maybe they don't want to answer the follow-up. That would be what I would say, because then if they don't say it's the basketball game, then Derek Gould isn't saying, well, how do you feel about him leaving the team to go to a basketball game? If you say it's business reasons, that's it. Like, you can't really ask a follow-up.
But what about now that we know it was the basketball game? Can he say, hey,
Yachty might get asked about it today, right?
Yeah. How do you feel leaving for the basketball game?
Stay out of my business reasons. That's what he's going to say.
I can't talk about it. It's business.
Yeah. And by the way, Matt, close on this because obviously, Cards Cubs is a big deal, even when the Cubs aren't very good. The Cardinals are playing great. 5-game series opens today. A couple of lefties out there, Jordan Montgomery, Drew Smiley. So maybe a chance to see Albert go deep again today.
Quite possibly. I mean, I know we've talked about it a lot. Like 700 is legitimately on the table. And anytime there is a lefty on the mound, you circle that and say, okay, can he get one? Because he's hitting a bunch against lefties right now, and he needs these opportunities against the left-handers if he's going to get to 700.
We appreciate you, Matt. Thanks for popping in. We'll look forward to catching you tonight, 6:10 for the pregame show here on KMOX and 7:05 for the first pitch. Have fun with it, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
That's Matt Pauley. You can find Matt, by the way, on Twitter as well. He is at Matt Pauley on air. We are the show at the show KMOX on Twitter as well. Hang tight. We got a little bit more ground to cover on this and a few other things. And then we're going to talk area code at the top of the hour after the news.
In another part of the world. Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Well, if you've lived in St. Louis for a long time, you know that weather plays havoc on the outside of your home. And that's why Banner Construction specializes in the best James Hardy fiber cement siding and Pella replacement windows. When you refresh your home's exterior with Banner Construction, you'll not only optimize your curb appeal and market value, you'll have the best looking home in the neighborhood. James Hardy is unmatched for its weather resistance, its toughness, and its beauty. And as a preferred James Hardy contractor, Banner is basically a St. Louis institution. If you need to replace your windows, remember that Banner is also a Pella Platinum certified contractor. You'll get the optimum in installation and energy efficiency. Don't settle for less than the quality craftsmanship that you get from Banner Construction. 314-569-1050 and check out the beautiful videos of Banner craftsmanship at bannerconstruction.com.
Donate your car to Goodwill and get 4 free tickets to Six Flags. Ride the greats like the Screaming Eagle or hang out at Hurricane Harbor. Donating a car to Goodwill is easy. Towing is free, and you'll get a tax receipt. For more information or to donate online, visit mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Six Flags. Hurry while supplies last. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
Charlie Brennan sees clearly thanks to Dr. Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
The Wall Street Journal reported that home equity is at record levels. And while home values continue to soar, rising interest rates make it harder than ever to unlock equity. But what if you could cash out your home's equity right now while it's still sky high and not have to move? You can with Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. Best of all, you get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays your home's full value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of, like travel or pay off debt. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 1-855-300-9993. 1-855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000. or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-328-8000.
Hey guys, Glover here for Zero Res. If you haven't tried out Zero Res or it's been months since your last deep clean, now's the time to do it. Get Zero Resified from St. Louis's best carpet cleaner for 20% off all cleaning services. 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold BMW. The new all-electric BMWs are here, and it proves that you don't have to be ugly to be electric. Come and drive one of these, and you'll kick your Tesla to the curb. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Join us September 10th at Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park and walk with one unified purpose, to end lupus. Join Walk to End Lupus Now St. Louis and feel the power of the movement. We are united. Together, powerful. Join us and register today at lupus.org/heartland.
Mission St. Louis helps people work their way out of poverty through education and workforce development. Make a difference today through a tax credit eligible donation at missionstl.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 314-441-4444. Kevin Wheeler.
Nice.
Amy Markscourt.
Fabulous.
Chris Ranji.
Unbelievable.
On the show.
It's 12:53 here on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Markscourt, Kevin Wheeler with you here on KMOX.
Ron, I got a question for you.
Okay, love questions.
I saw on Twitter that someone asked you about what the response would be in Chicago if it were a Cubs or a White Sox player skipping a couple of games because he had a basketball team in Puerto Rico that might be winning the championship, implying that St. Louis media and fans are a little bit nicer and softer on the players.
Oh, I think that's exactly what he said. Was they take it a whole lot easier on the players, and there's probably some truth to that. But I don't think everybody does. I mean, there are people who have been criticizing rightfully. I think the reaction from the fan base would be exactly the same as it is here. If there's really not a comp for Yadier Molina in Chicago. I would say
not at the moment. Yeah.
Not at the moment. Maybe Jose Abreu, because right now he's 35. Let's say he's 40 and he's still kind of producing like this, and he's iffy about coming back for a final year, but they have nobody to replace him who's ready to play right now. They might say, okay, well, you can come back. And he will say, yes, I will, but I'm not playing 6 months of a baseball season. So you get me for as long as you get me. And then they might say, okay, that's fine. And I believe Sox fans would be okay with that.
Because the expectations are different.
The expectations, like, the deal going in. And my guess that's what happened with Yadi is he was like, this is it. I will come back. But in order for me to come back, I'm not playing every single day all year. It just isn't going to happen because I could easily retire right now and be done with this altogether. So you either get me for 3 months or you get me for no months. You know what I mean? Like, and
I'm not sure it was positioned that
I don't
way,
know if it was either, but
I mean, the way he talked about it at the beginning was he and Waino had this chance to set the record for most starts together by a battery and all of that. I think there's definitely something to what you're saying, but I don't know that it was as stark as that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you guys this because it's similar to that question. I think this becomes a big deal if the Cardinals were 3 games behind the Brewers going into that weekend.
I think you're right. I think
the fact that they've been winning and that they're now ahead calms a lot of people down. We're like, okay, I don't like this. I think it's preferential treatment, but it doesn't matter because we're winning and winning cures everything.
But I do believe there was, I don't know this for a fact. I believe there was an understanding before the season that it's you're not going to get 6 months of Yadier Molina. That he's going to play when he's there. He's going to play hard for you as he always does. But he was very close to just hanging it up altogether.
Yeah.
So to me, this season is just a bonus season as far as I'm concerned when it comes to him. So. Maybe the reaction would be different from the press in a tougher market like New York or Chicago or Philly. But I do think it has a lot to do with where the Cardinals are. They're dominating at the moment. They didn't end up needing him over the weekend. But if they were a game back on September 21st and he wasn't there, then it's a different story.
And I would submit he wouldn't do it in that scenario. But
I don't think you would either.
But we don't know that. We had to deal with what it was this past weekend, and that's where it stood. Into the last weekend. I should have mentioned again, Cardinals and Cubs, 7:05 on KMOX tonight. We're going to talk new area code when we come back on the show.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
The biannual blowout is just a week away, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Keenan's Rug Emporium is rolling out a Labor Day bonanza.
We have that flat weave shipment coming in.
He needs 10 new sales associates as the crowds loom large.
Someone run a stock check on all the Moroccan 8x10s?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, To eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
If the epic rains affected your home or business, Reinhold Electric wants to come out and help you out. If you've had water in your basement or water got to your panel, call Reinhold Electric as soon as you can. They'll come out, they'll look at it, they'll follow local jurisdictions to get everything restored safely. They've been actively working with restoration companies, and even if you're not working with a restoration company, you can call them directly as a customer. It is time to call Reinhold Electric. They are waiting for your call. They've been powering up, drying equipment, getting businesses back up and running, and they've been doing it as quickly as possible. This is not their first rodeo. They know exactly what to do in emergencies like we had with the rains in July. So call Reinhold Electric. 24-hour emergency services always had by Reinhold Electric. You can find them online at reinholdelectric.com. That's REINHOLD electric.com or 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158. A live person answers that phone call 24 hours a day. Call Reinhold Electric and tell them Bo sent you.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, it's partly cloudy and 81 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, Dr. Anthony Fauci says he'll leave government service in December after serving more than 5 decades.
Fauci has led the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases for more than 30 years through HIV/AIDS.
We are in the midst of one of the most devastating epidemics in the history of civilization.
And then became a household name 2 years ago.
The cases continue to increase globally.
As the public face of the COVID-19 response, reassuring some Americans while clashing with President Trump over how to mitigate the spread. President Biden made Fauci his top medical advisor, and today says the nation is stronger and healthier because of Fauci. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Another sign that the COVID pandemic may be nearing an end, or at least transitioning into what's called endemic.
The St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force says it will end its weekly distribution of local COVID-19 data, citing the decreased demand for numbers and steady management of COVID-19 hospitalizations. The task force goes on to say it knows that COVID-19 will never disappear, but the same masking, social distancing, and getting vaccinated that helped to control the spread of the virus over the last 2 years will continue to prove effective as the numbers trend down or remain flat. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Pfizer has asked U.S. regulators to authorize its combination COVID-19 vaccine that adds protection against the newest Omicron variants. CBS News medical contributor Dr. David Agus.
The hope is the review happens in several weeks and that by sometime mid-September, we have this booster to start to administer to people across the country to give them broadened immunity against COVID-19.
With the increase in Hyundai and Kia vehicles being stolen, St. Louis's public safety director says the city's legal department is looking into possible litigation against the car makers.
There are several cities that are working on litigation that could potentially hold the manufacturers accountable.
Hyundai and Kia say they have corrected the problem that makes stealing their cars a breeze. Dan Isom says it's not enough.
In my opinion, that's not an acceptable solution. When you have a defective product, millions of cars in the market, in the public space.
Dan Isom says the city's recent steering column giveaway and purchase was a success. There's no timeline, though, on another event. Over the weekend, 37 cars were broken into in the city, 18 firearms stolen. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
This season of transitions, more so than any other season we've ever had, is monumental.
Steve Zwolak, head of the Loom Institute in St. Louis, tells KMOX because of the pandemic, this school year has the potential to be healing for students.
When we think about kids transitioning to any school system or at any level, they have to go into their environment knowing that the people there care about them. and that they will give them a sense of belonging and into their classroom or the school or their dormitory.
Swalek stresses if relationships are not established and restored at school, it could further erode children and young people's trust. The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, the rents are too high, but coming down.
Relief may be on the way for Americans crushed by the high cost of apartment rents. The listing service Rent Cafe says a record 420,000 new apartments are expected to be delivered this year, helping to alleviate high rents in some cities. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel is down 644 points to 33,062. They've cleared a crash on 170 North before Forest Park Parkway. Still have a crash on 70 West at 141 in the right lane. 55 South in the ramp from Imperial, and a stall 55 North before Richardson Road on the right shoulder. Weather sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company.
It's going to be a nice afternoon, some sunshine. The humidity's not so bad. The high getting up to 85, near 70 tonight. Lower humidity, mid-80s tomorrow, and then near 90. It'll feel hot Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but not terrible in terms of heat and humidity as we get towards the end of the week. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Partly cloudy and 81 in Florissant, 81 in St. Peters, 81 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
You're probably one of those women who doesn't like to give out her number.
No, I'm not. Here you go.
646.
It's a new area code.
What area? New Jersey?
No, it's right here in the city.
Do I have to dial a 1 first? I'm really kind of seeing somebody.
Yeah? Well, so am I.
It's 105 here on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here, and this has been Ranji's. I don't know, Ranji, maybe your pet topic for a little while. You've been waiting a good bit.
The explainer.
You've been talking about it.
Yeah, I can't.
Excited?
I am so excited about this. Well, it's more because I'm excited. We need answers.
Yes. And we have answers coming our way here in just a second. In fact, Heidi Wayman's kind enough to join us. She's the manager of data management at the North American Numbering Plan Administrator. And Heidi, first of all, welcome to the show. Thank you for doing this. We hope you're well.
I am. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Heidi, okay, so 557 is a new St. Louis area code. How did this happen?
Well, the amount of available prefixes in the 314 area code are exhausted, and so a new area code needed to be introduced to the area.
And this is a big deal because maybe it's like this in other cities, but definitely in St. Louis, people attach their selfhood to their area codes. Like
yes.
314. We have T-shirts that say proudly from the 314.
Nobody has one for 636.
Nobody. I've never seen a 636 shirt. I'm a 636. So the 557, how did you decide on, you personally made the decision. How did we decide on the 557 for St. Louis?
So the area codes are set aside 10 years in advance of exhaust of an area code. We do look at adjacent areas. So sometimes there's what's local calling, and then you can cross over sometimes a state line, but you look at 7-digit dialing. And you want to make sure that when you put a new area code on top of an existing area code, that you don't create any dialing conflicts or any issues when customers are dialing.
Oh, wow. So all right. So you're just what would be a dialing conflict? Like the numbers are too close?
Yeah.
So if you had 7-digit dialing across a line in an adjacent area, you would want to make sure that that number didn't conflict. And it could be in the carrier systems. There's a multitude of factors that go into why the area codes are set aside for a particular area.
All right. So this process starts way out, like years in advance. Do you notify the phone companies like, hey, we're about to do this? And how much notice do you give them? Like, how does that process work?
So NAMPA starts what's called the release planning process 36 months in advance. We hold an industry meeting, we notify the state commission, and then we submit a petition on the behalf of the telecommunications providers that provide service in the area. That goes to the state commission, and then the commission gives the final approval on the type of area code relief that will be implemented.
So this is the North American Numbering Plan, which is multiple countries, although significantly, I believe, not Mexico, correct? Mexico doesn't use this plan?
That's correct.
So how much coordination is necessary between the North American Numbering Plan and maybe the area codes, the correlatives in Europe or South America?
We're not involving Europe or South America.
So, but I mean, like, if you dial something once you get out of the country, do you know what I mean? What if you accidentally dial a different country?
Who does that?
I did it.
There are country codes,
China.
Amy.
How do you accidentally call another country?
I called China.
Heidi, I apologize for that question.
Heidi, there's got to be Heidi, there are safeguards in place to make sure dummies don't call another country, right?
What I'm saying is there are country codes, right?
Yeah.
Kevin?
Correct. There are country codes in place.
Yes. And what the country codes do is protect the other number. I'm sorry, I can.
Heidi, could you please bail her out?
No, I'm just saying.
Please bail her out right now.
Is it? You do not see how you could get a country code, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Heidi has no answers for you.
There are country codes in place, and hopefully you received a recorded message to let you know that you were dialing an error to hang up.
Is that what they did? Hey,
no, they answered the phone. They answered
oh my God. Heidi. Somebody answered?
Heidi, please tell me that you're having fun with this conversation. This initial question was not in jest. Anyway, it was a serious question. Heidi has had it with us.
Yeah, when she gets off the phone, she'll be like, "You won't believe these idiots we just talked to." So when you're coming up with a new area code, do you know what the other options were for us? We're getting 557, or we have it now. It started last week. So we have 557. Did we have any other options? And if there are other options, how come we didn't get to vote on them?
That was the option set aside for the 314 area code.
Oh.
There, unfortunately, is not a vote in place. It's put aside by the NAMPA, and then it's actually kept confidential even until the state commission approves issues their order.
Okay, here's another question that my co-host will inevitably mock me for. Obviously, with the advancement of new technology can move more quickly than our government is ready to respond to or what have you. With the advent of the telephone and different telephone companies, when did it become clear that we would have to be working out some type of coordinated system? Like way back in the day.
Are you talking about the dialing system or when the NAP came to an existence?
Like the area codes in general.
Amy.
I'm going to remove myself from this conversation. I am not helping anybody.
So, well, I'm going to actually help people because I have a couple of questions, Heidi, that maybe you can help me out with. First of all, people, like we know, are territorial about the area codes they get. And then they start to think of you in a certain way if you have a certain area code. So what are some tips for people who might get assigned this 557 and they don't want to be shunned by their neighbors?
I see that a lot. I see a lot of people are very tied to their area code. I've seen people with tattoos with their area codes on them, festivals. I mean, there's beers with the area codes, used as the name, and even music artists, right, put the area codes in their lyrics. So I don't have a tip though for anybody that gets
right. You shouldn't have a tip.
How about this? How about this? Would this work? A shirt that says 557 area code people are people too, like that. Would that
there
be?
You go.
Okay.
There you go. That would work.
Okay.
Heidi, we appreciate
the new 314.
We really do appreciate the information, and thank you for putting up with us. We appreciate that too.
It's not a joke. Those were real questions.
Oh, thank you, Heidi. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's Heidi Wayman, the manager of data management for the North American Numbering Plan Administrator. I can't even talk.
What is Amy? Amy's
I'm still
accidentally
laughing at these questions. I'm like, what?
So what I was going for with the last question, here's what I was looking at, right? Like the coordination of the phone systems. So this is according to The Atlantic. In the mid-20th century, in response to the U.S.'s rapidly expanding telephone network, executives at the Bell system introduced the new way of dialing the phone, the area code, because until then, human operators had to direct calls to each destination. How is that not?
Kevin.
She's the manager of data management in 2022.
Kevin.
What is she going to know about that?
Do you remember?
Years ago.
Area codes. How do you not? We
Kevin.
have to know the history of KMOX.
Kevin, remember the time that Amy told us she accidentally dialed China?
Mom, I need my mom to
And
call in.
somebody answered.
I need my mom.
They're like, no.
Mom, text me. And
Nobody.
that I called China.
Honestly, I truly believe that you were the first person in history to dial the wrong country. Who were you trying to call?
I was two.
Oh,
So, that makes the question even crazier.
You're such a clown.
You were two. Oh, I'm
Kevin,
surprised we didn't ask.
Kevin,
What can
just
we
go
do
to-
to make sure
just go to-
2-year-olds don't dial another country?
Go to break, Kevin.
I can't even talk.
What is she doing?
Well, we should have asked Heidi about our next segment because our next segment is about the good old days.
Yeah.
And maybe Heidi would have been able to explain the good old days of dialing phones. We'll be back.
You're such an idiot.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
When you need a plumber, you need a plumber now. Beast Plumbing is your plumber, whether it's commercial or residential. They do it all, whether it's stopped-up toilet services, sewer repairs, sewer lateral camera inspections, sewer and drain cleaning services, faucet repair services, water pressure services, leak detection. You don't like the flavor of your water? Definitely call Beast Plumbing for water treatment systems. They have water softeners, water filters, reverse osmosis systems, and they've got a special for the month of August. $75 off a toilet install. How about that for a deal? So if you need a new toilet, well, call Beast Plumbing for $75 off toilet install in the month of August. They have hired a couple of people for their office. They're still looking for 1 to 2. So if you are experienced in office bookkeeping, call Beast Plumbing or get a hold of them through their website. And they're also and always looking for a couple of experienced plumbers in the field. Put this contact in your phone because you'll never know when you need a plumber. 314-698-1154. Online at beastplumbing.com. That's BEIS plumbing.com. Tell them Bo sent you.
Well, the area code for the doctors at the Ophthalmology Associates is 314-966-5000, or you can go to youridoc.com. Now, I saw Dr. Birdie a couple of weeks ago. I've been wearing contacts since I was 12, and so eye care is a really big deal to me. And he was able to fit me with some new contacts, and they gave me a couple weeks to try them out, make sure I liked them. And I'm actually giving them a call today to say, yes, I love the contacts that you suggested. I'm going to go with those. They are the doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. Dr. Birdie and Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons, and they're experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, like dry eye, allergy eyes, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and of course, they also do LASIK surgery. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates take the time to talk to you, find out what's going on, and your eye health can be indicative of your overall health. And your yearly exam is often included in your health insurance. They're located at 12990 Manchester Road, just a half mile west of I-270 on eastbound Manchester Road, 314-966-5000, youridoc.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Improve your gas mileage by properly inflating tires and taking your car in for a tune-up. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Hi, this is Charlie Brendan. Do you have a home or a business made out of stone or brick? If so, listen up, because Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis for 31 years. Morelli Tuck Pointing can work on completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches. This time of year, people notice that their patios are somewhat cattywampus and those bricks need realignment. How about caulking, waterproofing? Morelli is a family-owned and operated business. Longtime employees there feel like family. And of course, everyone at Morelli is very proud to be a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to local companies with exceptional customer service. Today, you can call to request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387. When it comes to bricks and stone, go to the best. Morelli Tuck Pointing at MorelliTuckPointing.com.
News, talk, sports. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Amy just dialed China again on accident, Kevin.
was too.
During the break. 2 years old.
I have not
accident.
stopped laughing the entire break. I still
This
can't
lady-
I would
believe-
ask those questions again if I had the opportunity. They
and
were
she
good
would have no answers
questions.
again.
She'd be like, "What are you asking me? What is
felt
wrong
so
with
bad
you
for her.
people?" I did too. We
wasn't a
appreciate
Listen.
Heidi Wayman from the North American Numbering Plan Administrator
I did my research.
for joining us.
Everyone should go read this story in The Atlantic. Our Numbered Days, The Evolution of the Area Code by Megan Garber.
So the story is that we
if you
have.
had asked Megan Garber that question, it would have been great. I don't think Heidi was ready to give us a history lesson.
I don't think she was.
I mean, she's like, "What?"
She's a data management person.
She's like, "What are you talking about?"
I thought she would know a little bit about the history of area codes.
It'd be like me asking you exactly how our transmitters and our antennas work in radio.
No, it'd be the opposite. It'd be like asking Ryan Schulte about the history of great broadcasters on KMOX. Ryan Schulte is awesome. He's an engineer. He could tell you the
He probably does
transmitters.
know all that stuff too.
That's
like
exactly
public
right.
stuff, though. That's not like. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just can't
I don't
wait.
like. You know what? Let's go back to the job satisfaction survey.
No,
and
it's
feeling
not.
appreciated and not
I
ill-treated.
love this job today.
You're not being ill-treated.
I
we
am
just
being ill-treated.
not for no reason. So St. Louis,
I was too. Wait a minute. So
that's she's picking up the phone at the house and just pushing
And
buttons
don't
is
you
what she's
find it
doing.
interesting that 20 countries in North America use that system except for Mexico? They're like, oh, we're not going to use it. So I'm like, oh, can you explain that? Yeah, they're not there.
No,
I
I
thought
don't.
maybe there'd be a story. I always assume there's a story.
So the news is St. Louis has a new area code. It's 557.
Yeah.
So what I want to know from people, 314-436-7900, if you get assigned
Mhm.
a 557, are you going to be upset about it?
Or
I
excited.
remember when, because I grew up in Illinois, the southern Illinois, over here, Granite City, 618. There was a huge 618 region across the river. And we always had to dial 314 to get to my grandmother when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought in 636. And I remember when they brought in 636, it was like this huge deal. Like,
Mhm.
oh man, we got to dial 636. Grandma, 636.
Do you remember what year that was?
No,
1999.
no way. Really? Was that late?
That seems later, but I just Googled and I said, when was
Did you ask
636
Heidi?
introduced to Missouri? It said May 22nd, 1999, that it was
That
introduced to
can't be
Missouri.
right. It seemed like it happened way before that.
I remember when it happened, and I thought I was one of the first 636 phone numbers because people used to like joke about it, make fun of it. You're not from St. Louis, you're a 636. Like it was frowned upon.
We got a texter who says, I'm from the 557 and I'm proud, from the 618.
I don't get this attachment to an area code. Like I get it, like what you're talking about, Ron's, like back in the day when you actually had to dial it, but you don't dial it anymore. You pick up your phone and like call Chris. You pick up your phone, call mom. Like, I don't know anybody's number or prefix or anything. I know what their name is and I dial it.
Well, that's true, except when I take somebody's phone number, I always take note of the area code. I go, 847, huh? That's what you're. And so when I was living in Chicago, there are, I think, 7 area codes in the area. And anybody
Lots of
who
areas in the area.
Anybody who has an 815, people make fun of them. Like 815 people, like, oh, you're from the 815, huh? Okay, I know what your life's like. It's a very odd thing. Here, it's not so much because there are so many different types of people that have 314 or 636. I just think there's something about having the city's area code that's attractive. It's cool to have 314.
Well,
I think,
like you mentioned, I mean, maybe I haven't seen them, but you see the T-shirts that say, 314 from the 314 and proud, but you don't see the T-shirt saying from 636.
I've never seen a 636 T-shirt.
I think I should make a 636
because 636 is a suburb and 314 is the city where
That's right.
like your sports teams play, and
that's right.
It's considered like where you're from, even if you don't live there, right?
I'm pretty sure I have a 314 shirt, right? And I've never had a 314 number.
Right, but it doesn't really matter if you actually have that area code.
No, it doesn't,
Guys,
I guess.
I still haven't recovered
from
you making fun of me so much in the last segment.
I wasn't making fun. I was just
I
laughing.
feel like some of my ebullient little spirit.
Can you blame us, though?
I can. I can. Those were researched questions.
Texter from a 636. The life of someone who would get upset about what area code they have must be some kind of fantastic life without any real issues.
I did not text that, but I agree.
No, I have tons of issues, but I'm also upset about the area code. It's just another issue.
5, 7. Kevin, what was your area code up in
313?
Yeah, that's where we were.
Was it 313? So is that the area code that people celebrate in Detroit? 313?
That's because that's actually Detroit's, right?
Yeah.
So when you think of what makes you from there, like Eminem, Motown or whatever, like, that's what people are doing. So like people here, it's 314 because that's where the Cardinals are. That's how people around the country, like nobody around the country is going to be like, oh, Town and Country, I know that place. They're not going to know it. You're going to say I'm from St. Louis, right? So it's symbolic of the region that you're from.
Right. Do you still remember your childhood phone number? Like the landline at your phone growing up?
Nope.
Landline at your home? You don't? Oh, gosh. I remember it because you memorized your friends' phone numbers and you would call to see if they could come over. And, hey, can you come over and play? Do you know your childhood home phone number?
Yes, 618.
Should you say it? Or?
I don't know. It's not. It doesn't exist anymore. It might be like a 452 or something. I don't remember the last part.
You know what? I think
Here's a T-shirt idea, Amy.
Yeah.
From the 636. The T-shirt idea, 557. I'm new to the area.
Oh, that's cute.
That's a great T-shirt.
I can
That's
see why
actually not bad.
I can see why we're the fastest growing radio show in the area. Honestly. We're killing it with the area code
We are
conversation.
killing. Hey,
We have the
very
best
popular.
questions.
We are very popular with the 557 area code.
All right, coming up after the news. Were the good old days really that good? Amy asked us this question. The good old
When there was
days.
only
we
a
had
314.
one area code, and we liked it. We liked it just fine. That after the news here on the show.
This is Megan Lynch. Summer is coming to an end, and that means the school year is about to begin. For families, that can mean a lot of concerns, from COVID to school security to the rising cost of school supplies. All this week, Total Information AM and the KMOX News team will examine all the things that could impact your child's return to class. Information, interviews, and insight. What you need to know to make it a great start to the new school year. From Total Information AM and News Radio 1120 KMOX.
What I'm about to say and what I'm about to offer, remember this. Just because it's more expensive, trust me, our higher energy rating doesn't make it better, but we ran out of our recommended stock. So here's what I'm doing, and I made a deal with my supplier, is I'm selling the higher end ones for the same price as the really good ones. You're going to pay the price for the really good ones at the less than what the higher end ones charge because they don't have it anymore. Made that deal for you. So that's till they get the supply up. So I would imagine you're going to need air conditioning speed from now through September. That's what I promise to you. It's a great price, and we do have the equipment. So if you need me, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman. 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey with a question facing homeowners. Would you sell your current home if you found your dream home? Well, of course you would. And that's why you need to call Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria has a program that eliminates the worry of selling your current home and having to find your next home with inventory being so low. Gloria is expert at finding listed and unlisted homes that match your specific criteria. Let Gloria know exactly what you're looking for, and she'll find your dream home in the neighborhood of your choice. Once Gloria finds a homeowner who may consider a sale but hasn't put it on the market yet, Gloria will inspect that home, set up a private no obligation showing, and negotiate on your behalf at no charge if you want to make an offer. If your offer is accepted, Gloria Lou will also help you sell your existing home. Learn more by calling Gloria Lou at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com.
At 1:30, it's partly cloudy and 83 degrees downtown at the Arch. Kansas's statewide vote in favor of abortion rights has been affirmed through a partial hand recount. Arkansas authorities are investigating after a video seemingly showed 3 law enforcement officers using force on a suspect under arrest.
The video of yesterday's incident in Mulberry sparked social media outrage and the suspensions of the 3 officers. Police say they confronted a man who was threatening a convenience store employee. They say the suspect pushed a sheriff's deputy to the ground and punched his head. That led to an arrest, and the video shows the 3 officers on top of the man, sometimes hitting him with clenched fists. The Arkansas State Police are investigating, as is the Crawford County Sheriff's Department, which says it will take appropriate measures. I'm Sagar Magani.
The 2022 Illinois State Fair is over. Fair manager Rebecca Clark says she's cautiously optimistic that attendance was up this year.
Probably a 20% increase in the number of animals on the fairground. So that means that, there's a big growth and excitement about our youth exhibitor programs. So that's really good. And, we've heard really good feedback from our vendors. So that's also, a good indicator.
We've got a stall on 270 West at West Florissant and 55 North before Richardson Road on the right shoulder, and 55 South on the ramp from Imperial, and a water main break on Berry between Kirkham and Manchester Road. Weather is sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Nice afternoon, high 85, clear overnight, low 70. Not as humid tomorrow with the high of 86. It's 83 degrees now. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. That's my friends Mark and Neil Gelman at thegelmanteam.com.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. St. Louis City SC's all-new Centene Stadium is the site of this year's Biz Dash, and participants will get a chance to see it up close. With music, food, drinks, and more, the Biz Dash is the ultimate office party. Thursday, September 22nd at Centene Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
It will be the summer of joy in Chicago.
Instead, the trio of Pritzker, Lightfoot, and Fox have made this another summer of murder, mayhem, and chaos.
My granddaughter FaceTimed us saying, help me, Daddy's shot. And he's threw over him and they executed him. And then they shot at her.
Thanks to Governor Pritzker, the lawlessness of Chicago will soon be the law statewide. Pritzker's so-called Safety Act makes Illinois a safe haven for violent criminals. That's why 100 of Illinois' 102 county state's attorneys oppose Pritzker's mandatory release of alleged murderers, kidnappers, and arsonists. Prosecutors like Will County State's Attorney Jim Glasgow.
It's going to be literally the end of days.
And prosecutors like DuPage County State's Attorney Bob Berlin.
We are going to have violent criminals out on the street.
Stop Chicago violence from coming to your town. Vote no on J.B. Pritzker. Paid for by people who play by the rules pack.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX.
All right, coming up on 135 here on the show, Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler here. This is a topic that I love. And Amy, you brought it up because you're reading The Grapes of Wrath, which is amazing. Amazing in that you'll do it, but I wouldn't.
It's just amazing.
But you asked us a question, like, was it a text or I don't remember if it's text or on Twitter or whatever, about the good old days. And basically when you're reading The Grapes of Wrath, you're like, wow, life used to suck. And it's funny to me how we always do this. We look back and we think of times that came before and identify with them as being better because they were simpler or whatever, but doesn't mean they were. Actually.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, it's a good reminder of how good we have it, even with the different struggles that we have, even in hardships. It's important to delineate between hardship and inconvenience. I think a lot of times we as Americans mistake inconveniences for hardships. But I hadn't read all of The Grapes of Wrath, ever, but I'd only read excerpts during high school. And I love literature, and I felt like it was a crime that I had not sat down and read Grapes of Wrath in its entirety. And it's so sad. Like, it's brutal. The poverty is devastating. Most folks know, but it takes place during the Dust Bowl, during the Depression in the 1930s. And just the hopelessness, the jobless rates were, I think it was for the workforce, unemployment was at 25%, something ridiculous. And the tenant farmers who were living on these farms that they had worked on their entire lives, their grandparents were born and died there, they had their families there, and then just in one fell swoop, being kicked off the land. They had nothing. They had to migrate west. It's just heartbreaking. And we do talk about the good old days a lot. I saw a poll recently that said 54% of Americans believe that the best days of America are behind her. And I'm thinking, like, the 90s? What are you looking at when you're looking at the best days of America? Because not only was there so much hardship in the 1930s, but there was so much inequality. There was discrimination against women, against minorities, against LGBT groups, like all of these different areas of true hardship. I don't know how you can look back and say, yep, our country's best days are behind us.
It's because people generally, when they are thinking about 20 years ago, and it's not true for everybody. There are some people who remember when things were bad for them if things were bad. But generally speaking, you tend to believe that 20 years ago was an easier time of your life. But it probably wasn't as easy as you think. If you were a child, it was. because all the stuff that there really was to worry about, somebody else worried about that for you.
Right.
Like you didn't have to worry about it. You didn't necessarily have to worry about there being no money coming into the house. Your parents worried about that stuff, not you. So I think that's kind of why all of us tend to think about 15, 20, 30 years ago as being an easier time because individually for us it was.
Well, and I do think here's an analogy, a microcosm of how people look at history when you look at our country. When you think back to 2020 and the lockdowns when everything was closed and people were home, there was a simplicity to that time and the way time slowed down because especially in this country, we are go, go, go all the time. There are events, we have work, we have games to go to, all these different ways to fill up our schedule that we don't even have time to sit down and eat dinner as a family. So during the lockdown, even though it was a time of extreme stress and hardship, unemployment and financial stress, there were moments when families would gather together when they normally wouldn't, and they would sit down and have game night, or they would cook together and they would have dinner together. And looking back, I miss some of those moments, even though I don't want to go back to 2020 when we were stressed out. And I think that's sometimes how we look back at history. There were some simpler times. You know, the technology didn't exist. People didn't live as fast-paced of a life. So it's almost like we're cherry picking those quieter moments and simpler times and saying, I miss that aspect of it without necessarily acknowledging there was a lot that was hard and wrong as well.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We remember selective things. But I mean, I think you hit a good point too, Ronj, that like everything seems better when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I was 22, it's pretty awesome. I didn't give a crap about pretty much anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was just out of college. I was a grown person doing what I wanted. I mean, like it was easy. It was, you know, yeah, you needed to start a career and all that, but you're 22. It seems like everything is possible. When you're a kid, it's like that. And I think too often we get caught up in it. And you know what's going to be hilarious is in 40, 50 years, there will be people looking back at the 2020s and like, it was a simpler time.
Right.
Like,
Oh, God, what's
because it
going
was
on
in
then?
The past. Of course, the past is simpler than the present.
So when we are younger, especially when you're kids, you're not worried about taxes. You're not necessarily worried about the future. In general, it tends to be simpler. You have fewer worries. But even as adults, and I was talking to a friend about this, maybe picture yourself 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you're still an adult. Would you say that you have more worry and anxiety now than you did 10, 15 years ago, or less worry and anxiety now? And I know, Wheels, you're not super anxious, but just in general, do you feel like you worry less or more?
I had, I think, different anxieties 10 to 15 years ago than I have now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was necessarily better or worse, but I do the same thing that you were talking about, where when I think about 15 years ago, I'm not really, I'm thinking about all the great stuff that was going on and how much fun that part of my life was. So I'm not thinking about the hardships that went with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why, but that's just my instinct is to think about that stuff, to think about the good stuff.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend and she said, it's so weird. You would think that as you mature, you know who you are as a person. You would think you would have fewer anxieties. And she said, you know, I feel like I have more anxiety than I have now in my 40s than I did 10 years ago in my 30s. She said, shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't I have learned things will be okay? And yet maybe it's just more responsibility. It's coming out of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, so it also depends on where you are, right? I mean, do you have young kids at the moment? Do you have grown kids? I have a grown child. I don't have a lot of those worries that I would have had 10 years ago with a kid. You know, 10 years ago was a freshman in high school, and what's going to go on for college and how are we going to pay for it? And what, you know, where, like, there are just things that, you know, 10 years ago existed that were different. I would argue that I have a less stressful life than I did 10 years ago. In part because of that, because I don't have to think about any of that anymore. It's done.
Yeah.
You know, she's grown. She's off doing her own thing. She's doing her PhD, and I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's not on my plate. Now I worry about my kid, but you always worry about your kid. But it's not the extra. You're not thinking about future costs, and you're not thinking about, you know, the process of getting into college and all of those things. That's one huge thing that's just gone now.
Yeah. It's just an interesting thought. And again, that's why I love literature and I love reading, because it just it gets you out of your own world, puts you in someone else's shoes. And even as Debbie said, in a refugee camp, you can have an iPhone. And we know that there are people living below the poverty line, but they have iPhones, right? They're able to communicate. That is a luxury in the grand scheme of things, that even if we are struggling financially, we still have this technology, we have this access. Again, someone who is maybe barely making ends meet has more luxury and technology at their fingertips than someone who was doing okay 100 years ago or 70 years ago.
Right.
Things were just way less
But now-
convenient and tougher.
Yeah, of course. But the difference is now you have to have those things. So it's not,
Sure.
it's a luxury decades ago. Now it's a necessity. Like you have to have it or you are so far behind everybody else.
It's just crazy though. People were farming, right, for their own food, and then they would get injured, and it was like, well, we got to tie it up, but my leg will never be the same. Like there was no professional treatment. They didn't have access to medical care. It wasn't like they had an urgent care that they could go to or an emergency room and the doctors have to treat them. It was just, well, I guess I have a limp now for the rest of my life.
And we don't often, I don't think, take into account perspective. I think we talked about this briefly last week, maybe just for a minute. But if you make $50,000 a year, you're like in the top 95% of what people earn in the world. Sorry, you're in the top 5% of what people earn worldwide.
Yeah.
Which means 95% of people make less than you if you're in that range. And I mean, we don't consider the billions of people who do live in difficulty and poverty. And, I mean, you can name the country. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be some parts of China, could be North Korea, could be India. There are a lot of people in parts of the world that have it so much worse than we do.
Sure.
Yet we think it's terrible.
Well, it's all about relativity.
Right.
It's relative to everybody else that you are around. Like we have to think in terms of what's relative to the good life in the United States, not what's relative to the good life everywhere else. Like if you're poor here, you are still so far behind. So I mean, like it's almost difficult to measure how far behind you are a person who has $1 billion.
Right.
And there are a lot of people who have $1 billion.
A billion.
Or okay, well, fine, a few million then. It's whatever it is. Like you're so far behind those people that's what you're comparing to.
Yeah,
And I think
but I
you
don't
should.
think we should. Well, you can compare it, I think, to someone who is like maybe upper middle class versus the billionaire, because they're relatively speaking, there's a handful of them, and we are much closer to being, the average person is upper middle class is much closer to being below the poverty line
Than to
they
being
are
a billionaire.
to being a
Yeah, of
billionaire.
course.
Yeah, so you want to compare it to that, but it's always good to have perspective. And we talked to a soldier a while back who for the U.S. Army, I believe, who came back from Afghanistan, and we do obviously have poverty here, and it's a developed modern country, and we need to help take care of that. But he said that the poverty in Afghanistan was unlike anything he had ever seen. Like it was like the Middle Ages.
And I that's absolutely true, but I still don't think that's the way to reset. I'm not saying you are, but I do think a lot of people, the way they respond to somebody who's living in a tent in a park somewhere, like, well, at least you're not living in Afghanistan. I mean, that's not the way to respond to it, because that person who lives in a tent in a park shouldn't have to do that because of the resources we have in this country. That's the real argument.
Yeah, it's just different argument, right? It's an understanding that what you compare like to like,
it's perspective.
Right? We don't but for example, if you want to know the difference between a million and a billion, right? People use time. 1 million seconds is 12 days. 1 billion seconds is 32 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's there's a huge gap between those. So we understand that, but that same gap exists between the three of us and 90% of the world.
Right. It does. And I think perspective, what it does, it doesn't stop you from trying to make the country better. What it does is it stops you from tweeting something stupid, such as America is the worst country to be a woman in. It's not the worst country to be a woman in.
Could be better. Could
But
be
it's not
better.
the worst.
It's not the worst.
And there's a
It should be
difference
better,
between
but
those two tweets.
Yeah.
Saying it could be better and it's the worst in the world. I'd beg to differ.
Who was this again?
Like I was someone who writes for Parks and Rec.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomesaintlouis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com or call 314-328-8000.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
The Wall Street Journal reported that home equity is at record levels. And while home values continue to soar, rising interest rates make it harder than ever to unlock equity. But what if you could cash out your home's equity right now while it's still sky high and not have to move? You can with Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. Best of all, you get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays your home's full value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of, like travel or pay off debt. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 1-855-300-9993. 1-855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Donate your car to Goodwill and get 4 free tickets to Six Flags. Ride the greats like the Screaming Eagle or hang out at Hurricane Harbor. Donating a car to Goodwill is easy. Towing is free and you'll get a tax receipt. For more information or to donate online, visit mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Six Flags. Hurry while supplies last. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
If the epic rains affected your home or business, Reinhold Electric wants to come out and help you out. If you've had water in your basement or water got to your panel, call Reinhold Electric as soon as you can. They'll come out, they'll look at it, they'll follow local jurisdictions to get everything restored safely. They've been actively working with restoration companies, and even if you're not working with a restoration company, you can call them directly as a customer. It is time to call Reinhold Electric. They are waiting for your call. They've been powering up, drying equipment, getting businesses back up and running, and they've been doing it as quickly as possible. This is not their first rodeo. They know exactly what to do in emergencies like we had with the rains in July. So call Reinhold Electric. 24-hour emergency services always had by Reinhold Electric. You can find them online at reinholdelectric.com. That's REIN. HOLDelectric.com or 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158. A live person answers that phone call 24 hours a day. Call Reinhold Electric and tell them Bo sent you.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold at Newbold Toyota. If you're worried about gas prices, Toyota has the most models of hybrid electrics in the industry. From the best-selling Camry to the best-selling RAV4, we've got it all. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Mission St. Louis is celebrating 15 years of empowering individuals to break the cycle of poverty. To learn more on how you can make a difference, go to missionstl.org/KMOX.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Summer items like garden hoses, pool toys, and lawn chairs are not recyclable and best donated to charity. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in your neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's premier James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home by calling Banner Construction 314-569-1050.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Amy Marks scores.
This is my show, my microphone.
On the show.
This will be known as the Raunchy Wheeler segment. Because we come back with the music from House of the Dragon. Amy, we couldn't drag you in to watch this television program?
No. But what I'll be doing is off in the other little room, we'll be having a conversation about the Iliad and the Odyssey and the Aeneid, classics.
Sounds like
because
fun.
none of those have any violence or anything in them.
Yeah, but you have to picture
We
it.
can read about the violence instead of seeing it. Boy, that makes it so much better.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not
that's true.
like Kevin in House of the Dragon, there was any violence last night.
No, not at all. It was
No blood.
Honestly, it was pretty. Honestly, it was pretty striking in a couple of places.
I know, right? Well, we can't really talk about it.
No, we're not going to go any deeper than that. But it was pretty.
Oh,
there's a couple of things where you're like, oh, wow.
Yep. And I think, there was I think I know
How
the
did
two
you guys
things,
think
actually.
How did you guys think this segment would go?
Just like this.
Exactly like this.
Just
We're
like
talking
this.
about the most
Remember
popular television show on the planet.
But without saying anything.
Well,
no, there are plenty of ways to look at. Number one, I thought it was excellent. Even obviously there's some disturbing parts, but there always are in Game of Thrones / House of Dragons type stories. I mean, there are always going to be disturbing images, and there's going to be violence. There's going to be it's telling the story of how life is like in that world. And by the way, how life was in our world not that long ago, right?
That's what they
these types
say.
of things happened back in the day.
Are there
Now,
dragons?
There are, well, I don't know, but there are people that I've seen over the last 16 hours, I guess, say that when they're talking about House of the Dragon or they're writing Game of Thrones, and it was always extremely violent, and in particular, violent against women. Like there was a lot of that.
A lot of rape, a lot of incest, a lot of violence. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And that the argument for those things is, well, that's how it was in like medieval times. But there are people who say that they cover those things, or like one person says, I have a PhD in that. I don't know if they do or not, but they're like, it really wasn't as bad as we say it was. It wasn't this terrible. I don't really know. I have no idea. I just know that in this particular fantasy world, it is awful. And it doesn't.
And that's the key word. Fantasy, because I do think there's a weird fascination with sexual violence. We won't get into that conversation, but it's like, no, it's definitely not for entertainment. It's entertainment for people. It sells.
But
Sexual violence sells, which is a little bit weird.
It doesn't bother me. Like I will see the scenes happen or they imply it or whatever, and you're like, ugh, Jesus, okay,
Right.
that's not.
But that's the point. It's supposed to make you feel that
Yeah.
way. You're not supposed to go, oh yeah, like nobody's doing that.
Which, yeah,
I shouldn't say that. Only ill people do that.
Yes, I knew a crazy guy one time.
Really?
I was in college, and the movie, I can't remember the name of the movie, but there's a scene in it where two guys, they take advantage of a woman, and it's pretty brutal. And we're all sitting there quietly watching it, and this guy said something like,
Oh, don't. Oh.
I'm not going to say it.
No,
but
don't
I'm
say
not
it,
saying,
'cause I do
but
think
we all
there's
looked at him
something-
like, are you out of your mind? And
Yeah.
it turns out he was.
That's my conspiracy, and I don't even think it's a conspiracy. I think sex sells, violence against women sells, and that's one reason why I don't watch these types of movies. I'm not supporting it. It's weird that people have no problem with it.
It's not that people have no problem with it. It's that it's part of understanding how terrible some of the people are in the show.
And I think that's
how
what
you
you're
get
supposed
invested.
to think is
Yes,
they're
you're supposed to
terrible
think they're
people.
terrible.
Yeah.
This is actually a topic we'll come back to another time, because I do think that is a really, truly legitimate debate about those types of shows. We can get back to that. You guys, by the way, have a great one. DGS is coming up next on KMOX.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad.
Kevin,
There's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.